On, guys.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you to this Thursday night edition, this special edition of the show at Fish, North Georgia. Tonight we are turning into Hunt, North Georgia. And we're going to talk a little turkeys tonight. Turkey season just started this past Saturday, and it is not only something that's fun to do, it's another avenue for us to get out in the woods and do things like that here in the great state of Georgia. But it's also, there's a lot of art to it, a lot of things to consider when hunting turkeys. You just don't go out in the woods and kill a turkey. So we're going to be here for a couple hours. And if you watch this live now, we're glad you're here. Make sure you put your name in your comments up there. And if you watch it later, we hope you leave us drop us a comment here on the YouTube channel as we go. But let's take care of some business first. If you're watching on any of the Facebook channels, what's up, Eric Beasley? If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Put your name in there so that we can right there. Mr. Paul has put it up on the comment section right there, so that when you make a comment, we can see your name and address you accordingly. And if you're on YouTube and all that, make sure if you're new here tonight, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. And again, so that you can get the latest content, fishing wise mostly, but we will do some of these hunting episodes here in the future. And as always, Fish North Georgia show is brought to you by State Farm and the Cassidy Agency right there. Guys, you hear me talk about it every week. A lot with personal article policy, and we're talking about doing your rods and stuff like that. But what you did not know, and I might not have told you, is that you also can insure your firearms and your hunting equipment, certain types, on this policy right there. And Chase Epley is our guy with the Cassidy Agency. Give him a call at 678-779-7269. Any questions you might have, hey, listen, $75 for up to $7,000 worth of coverage. All right, and you go over $7,000 and it goes up a little bit. But for $75, you can insure not only all your fishing rods and your fishing equipment, but your firearms, stuff like that. So give Chase a call again, 678-779-7269. Tell him the guys at Fish North Georgia have sent you, and we do appreciate you doing that. So good evening, everybody in the comments. I'd like to see some of the familiar names there that want to talk turkey, and that's good. So signal's not great there at your follow, but you'll have to catch a show later. Hey, listen, we appreciate you anyway. But guys, if you're new tonight, hey, if you got a question for any of these guys, make sure you put it. If you got a comment, make sure you put it down right there. Steve Smith, thank you very much. That's a great comment. And we appreciate it. I look forward to every Tuesday, Thursday night, being able to talk to you guys, having Blake in here with me. And, it's just a good thing that the big guy upstairs has blessed us to get to do. So, again, let's have a good couple hours. We're going to talk turkeys a little bit. And, they showed up in camo right there.
I didn't think we'd be matching, but I mean, hey,
you see the old school right here.
It's
the old
all
school right here
land.
and the new guys. Patricia, how you doing there?
It's all
I want to do this. I want to take the time, too.
Congrats on the win.
That's right. Next Tuesday night, we're going to go back, of course, to bass fishing, and we're going to talk about some of the tournament news that's been going up. And Patricia and her partner, Taylor, won the last Elite Series tournament at Hard Labor with a little over 19 pounds, and it was a tough day. And I know it started off very windy that morning, but they persevered and won an elite tournament. I know she's really excited about that, and we're probably going to Zoom them in, Paul. You got to make sure we know how to do this again. Paul's good. So Tuesday night, we'll probably Zoom Patricia, you, and Taylor in if y'all can do it. And we're going to talk about that. But again, congratulations. If you win an elite tournament, you've done something. A lot of great sticks right there. So it is a very cool accomplishment, and we are definitely proud that anglers like Patricia and Taylor are in the club with us. So thank you very much. So anyway, all right. So time to introduce my star-studded panel for the night. To my left, I've got Mr. Sid Bargo. Sid, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
It is. And listen, Sid, we're going to get him over his camera shyness. He says he's not going to be shy. I had to talk him into coming tonight, but I tell you what he does. He sits in the shop up there when he's here, and we got talking today, and he's got all these turkey stories. He hunts them everywhere. You've been all over hunting turkeys.
Yeah, I've been to, of course, Kentucky, where I'm originally from, Tennessee, Alabama. Hunted them in Florida, never killed one in Florida.
But you've hunted them.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You have to listen to him talk about his hunt in Florida because it's pretty entertaining because it's so loud, he said.
Them jokers are hard to get to
Well,
talk
he
back
said,
to you, too.
what'd you say? It's so
the
loud.
noise inside at the swamp early in the morning is so loud. Just the birds, just everything like that. It's I couldn't distinguish what was a turkey and what was not. I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
Just total.
Oh, it's like standing in the middle of a city.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know if I'd sit in a swamp in Florida, but okay.
I'm more worried about the gators and water monsters.
Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to go down there on a python hunt. Let's go down there and try to kill one of them pythons.
See, guys, Danny comes up with all these stupid but good ideas. Listen, how long have I been here? Probably going on 4 months, maybe.
2 months now, yeah.
We ain't done shit. It's that simple. Hey, we're gonna do this.
Well,
we ain't done it yet, but okay.
All right, so
I'll agree with you, buddy.
So starting in the morning, we're gonna do it.
In the morning,
I'm gonna make what we're gonna do next. We'll figure it out. We're gonna go object number one, and we'll go.
Hey, I'm pretty booked for a little while.
All right, you're booked. Well, that's why we ain't doing nothing. So, what's up, Daniel? What's up, Dalton? Kevin Chadwick? All you guys, Chris Taylor, Kobe. Hey, listen, I am so glad to see you guys tuning in tonight, and I appreciate it. I know it's a stormy night here in Georgia. You got nothing else to do. There ain't nothing good on TV, so you might as well sit here with us for the next couple hours. Brian, how you doing, buddy? I'm in on the python hunt. There we go. Brian, do it.
I ain't touching those snakes.
So for those of you that don't know, across from me right here at this angle right here is Mr. Blake Buchanan, my sidekick. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man.
How was work today?
I'm just glad I've got the weekend off. 14 days straight. I'm glad for some days off.
There you go. Little man's in town and everything. Yeah. This was awesome. So good for you. And Blake is I will tell you this. Blake has been looking forward to us finally doing.
I've been begging him. I told him we should started this back in deer season just to do rut reports and stuff like that. No, there ain't enough people want to hear that. Well, we're going to find out tonight.
Well, we're going to find out tonight. And, yeah, absolutely. Daryl, listen, first thing you can do is go catfishing with me.
There you go.
Hey, listen, Tennessee River, baby. That is him.
Hey, we'll go sit up at the nuclear reactor on Chickamauga in a damn pontoon and just
he hunts right by the tail race of the dam and all. He was talking about that. So, absolutely, let's go. I wish you could have been here the other night.
I watched it.
Joker starts pulling out live bait and starts cutting it up right here. All I know is whatever knife he had,
sharp.
I want one. Listen, he was just slicing through
them. Frozen too. Wasn't they frozen?
They were frozen. He just watch out. I was like, remember that commercial? What's the commercial? Ginsu knives.
Yeah.
Cutting the penny, then the tomato and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, and he got the new boat. Good. Listen, looks like a Marble Hill version of Duck Commander. That's right, Justin. We got it going on here tonight. So again. I'm happy for Blake because number one, I know his passion for turkey hunting is big. I know Sid loves it too. And so I'm glad. And I am not the best turkey hunter. I have killed an adult bird before and I enjoy it. I was just never brought up into turkey hunting. So I'm here to learn.
I mean, I had to teach myself how to hunt and I didn't know what I was doing until I met this guy.
All right, man. Yeah. So right across from me, Mr. Ethan Jones. You're a big old boy.
Dude.
Yep.
I mean, you're just a big old boy. Let's keep him on the good side.
You talk about a turkey killing machine between him and his daddy.
Yeah.
His daddy. I wish your daddy could have came tonight too.
Yeah.
His daddy used to hunt with old Waddy.
Really? Michael Waddell.
He's hunted with him or around him.
In and around him?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. We need to get Waddell on the show.
Good luck.
What do you mean good luck?
I talked to him at the Classic. He seems friendly on camera, but he wasn't very friendly at the Classic.
That's because it's you. I might get him. What if I swear? I'm just kidding, Blake. Don't get butt hurt. Don't get butt hurt. So
hey, that's when I still had my mullet before Danny decided
to cut it off. It's that mullet. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. So here's what we're going. Who sponsors Hunt North Georgia? Well, who's it? What'd you say? Plug somebody. Well, I tell you what. The same people that hunt that sponsor Fish North Georgia.
Cassidy Agency.
At Cassidy Agency, State Farm, all right, Elko, all this. We're all one big wild wig of cheese.
Yeah, wild wig of cheese. We got us another bag tonight. We're going to start snacking on.
Get some more stuff, but we own Hunt North Georgia. So, hey, we'll build it up as we go.
I've just finally got Danny to get it out of the woodworks after months of begging. I've been begging since like October.
Well, we're glad we're doing it. So I'm listening. I'm happy with it. We're going to go. We'll see how tonight goes, and this might become a more regular occasion because, good grief, we've interviewed about everybody in the state of Georgia fishing so far, but you run after. But we definitely listen. It's all about getting in the outdoors here. Make sure we get our kids in the outdoors. We do stuff like that. So it's one of the good things. The big guy upstairs, he created it for us. Go out there and enjoy it, whether you're fishing, hunting, whatever. We're still all in one big kind of fraternity right here. We support each other, and that's just the way it goes.
I believe with turkey hunting, man, to me, it's a lot more fun than deer hunting.
I agree
You
with
can
that.
see people get real emotional. There's nothing better than a gobbler coming right down the gun barrel, lighting the woods up. And the good thing is, these eastern birds that we have in Georgia, it literally sounds like thunder, and you can feel it on the ground when
If
they're
they're
close
close
to
enough,
you.
you can feel it in your chest.
I mean, they
That's it.
holler at you.
I will say this, okay? I'm a bigger deer hunter than I am a turkey hunter. But some of the most exciting times I've ever had in the woods is when a mature gobbler is coming. And he's just lighting it up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just the woods are echoing.
Getting them fired
Your
up on the
heart
roost
is
in the mornings.
pounding. And he could be 70, 80 yards out. You never see that bird.
Oh no.
But it's just, I mean, it's just the adrenaline rush. It's like seeing a trophy buck.
Yeah.
But you hear this joker coming. Trophy buck, you might look down and there he is.
And these things, you
Sometimes-
working them down the gun
And
barrel.
you get to interact with them.
Oh, yeah, that's the
thing.
best part
That's
about
what
it.
I love about it.
The
Talking to 'em.
The
Talking
thing,
turkey.
the thing we can start off with is basically this. When it comes to trying to kill a turkey, you're trying to go against nature. You're trying to
Yes.
make in nature, the way the good Lord set it up, the gobbler gobbles and the hens come to him.
Yep.
And the thing is, for a bird with such a small brain, boy, they'll get you a
Make you
lot.
feel
Oh, yeah,
stupid.
they
It will
absolutely-
They'll make you feel
stupid.
dumb.
They're very good. And the thing about it is too, is that now you're trying to make that, you're trying to flip the script.
You trying to make him believe that what he's hearing is actually happening.
Exactly. And you're trying to make him come to you
Exactly.
as a hen or another gobbler.
Right.
If there's a hen gets involved, you better be able to outcall her, or she's going to whoop you every time.
Well, so let's start right here with you, Sid. So how long have you been turkey hunting?
Probably about 22 years. I think I was probably like a sophomore in high school. I might have been 16 before I saw my first wild turkey. 'Cause
Right.
There just wasn't a lot of them in Kentucky.
And you were in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kentucky's population skyrocketed, hasn't it?
skyrocketed. Right now, I think it's dwindling like most parts in the South. Well, we'll probably get into that later. Why
Yeah,
we
I'm
think
sure
that.
we will.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of turkeys there. A lot of public land too.
A lot of public land.
A lot of
in-
public land up there. The Daniel Boone National Forest is huge. And
Okay.
There's a lot of turkeys on there.
All right. So, but you
Yeah.
basically, so about high school, you got into it. Who showed you how to get into it?
It's just same as Blake, just trying to figure it out.
You just wanted to do it.
Just wanted to do it.
And that kind of runs with me.
Mhm.
Nobody, I didn't grow up turkey hunting. I didn't grow up deer hunting.
Well,
I
there
grew up
wasn't-
fishing.
Yeah,
but-
there wasn't a lot of people back home because there wasn't a population of turkeys. There wasn't a lot of people that knew how to turkey hunt.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
I think everybody's just trying to figure it out, trying to learn as you go, trial by fire.
Right. You pretty much all your life.
No, I've been a time or two with one of my dad's friends, and I heard a bird gobble, and I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And started driving. So I guess about 16 is when I really got into it. Took me until my senior year to kill my first bird. So 2 years really to kill my own bird. And I mean, I got addicted to it like that. I remember the first bird I ever killed. I was a senior in high school, and I skipped a Friday morning of school to go kill a bird. Skipped high school, and I went and killed my first bird. It's still one of the biggest birds I ever killed. And I just killed it right down the road. From
Right
here.
down the road from here.
But I've been hooked ever since. I mean, it's like a drug. I mean,
it is.
nowadays I'd rather be chasing turkeys than chasing bass laying on the bed, honestly.
Okay. All right. How about you, big guy?
That's where I'm a little different than both of y'all because I grew up doing it. I
Right.
didn't get it later. The first time I went, as far as just dad taking me, carrying me around in the woods, I was probably 3.
He's got pictures of him and his daddy. I mean, just little of
Okay. So
short
you're a
even.
lifer.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 24.
Okay. So 21 years,
I'd say 8 or 9, probably.
8 or 9 years into it, and you're 20 something years
I'd probably
too.
say, yeah, 20.
And I would say I'm probably,
You're on off and on, or you ain't
off and on.
true. Or,
Right. I'm not a true turkey hunter, but I do love it.
Right.
But that's also too because whatever turkey I kill was kind of self-taught. I know I sound like a daggum mental
And it's an art.
man. It is an art.
It's an
That's what I'm
art
saying.
with
I
some
don't know
calls.
the art to it. And so hopefully tonight what we're going to do is discuss not only tactics and strategies, but the art behind it. So
Yes.
I imagine from an early age, this art has been pounded into your
Oh,
head.
yeah, a lot.
You remember your
A
first
lot.
kill?
I do.
All right. What about it?
I was 8 years old. We went, dad picked me up from school one day at, 3:30, 4 o'clock. We went straight over here.
Afternoon bird.
Yeah, afternoon was my first one,
Okay.
which is a lot harder for most people.
It is.
And I remember we went, got on the food plot, got in the ground blind, and dad would call, and he'd wait about 20 minutes before he called again.
Right.
And I'll never forget, he fell asleep. in the blind next to me, and I looked up in the field, and there was 4 longbeards coming to the decoy, and I'm over there hitting him. Dad, wake up! Dad, wake up!
Right.
And he wakes up and he goes, "Holy crap!"
Right.
So
That's Mickey Jones for
Yeah.
sure.
So I get settled. I pull the trigger. Didn't know if I hit the bird because all of them flew up in the air at 25 yards.
Right.
Well, they get in the back of the food plot. They're at, 50 yards or so. And I was upset because I thought I missed because they all flew.
Right.
And Dad was like, you want to try again? I was like, no, it's too far. You shoot it. You shoot it. So he shot one in the back of the food plot. Well, he throws the blind up. We take out through the food plot. Mine's laying right there where I shot, and his is laying in the back of the food plot. We doubled on our first
up
one.
on the first one.
I never
There
heard
you
that
go.
story.
First one was a double with my dad.
I tell you what's pretty interesting is to me is you don't just fire a shotgun at a turkey. You actually have to hit it in a certain. I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to go more for a headshot. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
people don't know. Now, did you know that? Did your dad tell you? Did,
Oh,
did he
yeah.
walk you through everything? This is what you're gonna do,
Listen,
son. Boom,
I
boom, boom,
practiced a
boom.
lot.
Mickey Jones can pattern a shotgun.
Well, we're gonna
I
get into
practiced
that
a
He
too.
can
lot.
pattern a shotgun.
We're going to get into that too. And a couple of comments that I noticed up there. First of all, hey, Josh Tatum. No, listen. Hey, listen. We will be back into the fishing talk next week. Don't want to let you guys hang. But, hey, you know what? We've been talking bass fishing for a couple months. Turkey season just opened up in Georgia this past weekend. And so we're going to give it a little change. And, again, a lot of guys are dual sportsmen is what I call them. I mean, you got your dual sportsmen in the pros that play, basketball and football or football, baseball, whatever. Well, a lot of guys that fish like the turkey hunt and deer hunt. Daryl that was on here the other night loves deer hunting. He was a catfish guy that was on here the other night. So he loves the deer hunting, and we're going to talk deer hunting. We're going to have those shows too. So Blake, you remember the first one you ever killed?
Yeah, like I said, I skipped high school.
That was the high school one.
yeah, skipped
First
school.
one you ever killed though. That
First one, yeah. Took me 2 years, and I still didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, I got lucky with that bird. I crossed a creek that morning, or more like a river. I got soaking wet. Took the stock of my gun, swinging it through brush just to get up side of this mountain. And I got up to him, and I threw a decoy out, and he literally landed on the decoy. I didn't even call.
Yeah.
That, to me, yeah, that was the first turkey I killed. But nowadays, that's too easy.
Yeah, it is too easy. One thing Chris Taylor said out there, one thing we have in common with deer and turkey, women get us in a lot of trouble. And that's
Ain't that the
absolutely true.
truth?
The first gobbler I killed, mature gobbler I killed, basically I called the hen in. I saw him and the hen in the field.
She'll come.
Yep.
She got
she's
pissed
usually
off
got
at my
one
call.
with her.
She come right to me and just love brought him right in there.
Yep.
That was
Probably
a
full strut too, wasn't he?
full strut Cherokee County bird right over here off 369.
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. Trey was with me and all that. But again, it was
I like
almost,
talking to them hens.
it was almost too easy that day. It was one of
Yeah.
those days where everything just
Mhm.
lined up. You remember your first bird?
Yes, remember it was a jab. I pretty much deer hunted it, right? I didn't know I didn't know how to call. I had no one teach me how to call. I
Right.
didn't even know if I sounded right on it. But I knew the turkeys just flying down the mountain into the field. They was there every morning because I could see them from my house. So I got up, set up in that field. Turkey flew down just like I did every morning as a Jake. Flew down, landed, shot it. So it wasn't exciting calling it in. Like I pretty much just deer hunted it.
Right.
The second turkey was set up in between them and the hens. Did my calling. He was coming to the hens, but I intercepted him. Now, that bird was probably 27.5 pounds. Had 11
Oh, that's a
beard.
big one right there.
How
Yeah.
much?
27.5.
That's a
Good
good
Lord, that
He had
is a
11-inch
nice one.
beard, 1.5 spurs.
Was that down here up in
That's
Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Dang, that's a big bird.
Jeremiah, I don't know. Now listen, we're gonna cover a lot of stuff tonight. But he
Ain't the
wants to
heart
know:
of killing your first one. No.
is there a ritual like you do with deer hunting with your first one? We ain't wiping no blood on her face or doing anything like that. You just killed a bird. Or did you have a ritual?
No, we really, after we killed it, we went back, and it was really special because I doubled on my first one.
Right.
So it was more of just the celebration and the pictures and then cleaning the bird. I mean, learning how to clean your first bird,
Gotcha.
just like you do a deer.
Gotcha. What
That's-
about you? Were alone though.
Yeah, well, I had a neighbor with me.
Okay. All right. I
So,
got you.
It was just everybody high-fiving, slapping, hugging.
I say, I don't really know how some people feel, but a lot of the deer that I kill, I'm usually by myself, so there's not a lot of high-fiving and stuff like that. Like even when I killed Babyface a couple years ago, that giant that I killed up here on
Right.
the mountain. But when it comes to turkeys, man, I mean, it's a little more emotional to me. I don't. I guess it's because I was able to fool him to come to me and walk down the barrel to kill him. And I guess the older I get, it's a more special thing. I kind of sit there and I kind of run everything back through my head and do a little praying. Like I'm just killing turkeys to me now. It's better than anything.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's an
emotional.
emotional level with me now. I mean, every time we kill a bird, I mean, we're high fiving, we get our pictures, we go back, we crack a beer and just have a good time. I mean,
it is a little bit different than deer hunting in that. Again, and that's where I think it starts, that you're trying to do something. You're trying to fool nature.
Yeah.
You're trying to fool nature. So, all right. So basically, every one of you remember your first kill. We're hitting on the emotional aspect of the turkey. So let's basically talk before we really get into specifics, and we got the calls and everything like that, because you guys got a lot of stuff, and we're going to talk about some of the stories and some of the hunts that you've had. If you could describe turkey hunting in one word or maybe 2 words to you, what would it be?
I can go with the generic term, exciting.
Just exciting?
It's just exciting, and it's camaraderie too. You can hunt with somebody, you can walk and talk. You don't just sit by yourself and be quiet like you're doing deer hunting. You know what I'm saying? There's interaction, stuff like that. That's what I enjoy most about it.
Yeah. What about you, Blake?
Passion.
Just passion. All right. So exciting, passion.
Humbling.
Humbling, because you will lose more than you win.
Hey, you get your butt whooped a lot more than you
All
kill.
right, so that's good. Now, Trophy Seeker Outdoors.
Yeah, we're going to get into that stuff a little later on.
Okay, so you're aware of all that they're talking about. Yeah, because I remember you made a comment. So we will talk about that. I think anytime, and first of all, this is another thing that we need to do, whether we are anglers or hunters, is you always need to be aware of what's going on down in Atlanta. What's going on down under that gold dome where they might change laws and stuff like that. Anything. There's a lot of politics in hunting. There's a lot of money in hunting, but you need to pay attention. And I don't know how many guys understand what's going on with the changes in the amount of turkeys that you kill and stuff like that. And
it's some big changes. A lot of the rules that they're wanting to do, I don't agree with. I'm not a biologist.
Why don't we just jump right into that?
Yeah, let's
just jump right into. Are you aware of them?
Do you have them pulled up?
From 3 birds to two birds, right?
Yeah,
you know.
Let's
go ahead.
Tell everybody what are all the proposed.
And then we can discuss it.
These are not set in stone. These are the proposed changes to turkey
for next season. Is when they're wanting to change this.
So 2021 upcoming season.
The 2022.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm a year behind.
That's right, bud.
Yeah. So they have a few different ones. One of them is they're talking about dropping the yearly bag limit back down to 2 birds. Okay.
From 3, from the current
from 3.
Mm-hmm.
From 3. They're wanting to drop it down to 2 birds. They're wanting it to make it where you can only bag 1 a day. You can't say you're hunting by yourself and you call up a pair, you can't double anymore.
Okay.
And then the big one, this is the really big one that's getting a lot of people. They're wanting to change season dates.
It's not just for private; it's also for public. But it's 2 different things that they're wanting to do.
They're wanting to. The proposed from the biologist, as they were commenting on there, the proposed one is to back public land up, to back it up a week. I mean, not public, private land a week.
Okay.
Then public, they want to start in mid-April.
So you're losing almost
you're losing a month of season. The problem I have with that is in Georgia, I would say 70% of turkey hunters hunt public land.
They're not going to agree.
And then you're cutting down their season to a month long, because it would be from mid-April to the second weekend in May.
Now, what are the reasons for these changes? Is it the decline in population?
The biggest reason, and I've always been told this, Georgia used to be one of the top 10 states to turkey hunt.
It was definitely
one of the best.
It was a top state for Easterns.
Yes, but now apparently the numbers have started dropping. They're dwindling, and they're saying that the poults, what they call the baby turkeys, they call them poults. So they're saying that not as many poults are making it, especially on the WMAs and stuff like that, and it's dropping our population, which I have talked to a couple guys that hunt a lot of WMAs, especially up in the Rich Mountain area and stuff like that. Apparently, back in the day, you used to be able to go up there and hear turkeys everywhere. And now you might go hunting one morning and get on top of a mountain and you only hear 2 birds.
Okay.
And if you're on top of a mountain and you're
You should hear
listening,
several,
you
yeah.
should hear several.
Right.
And I take that from two good sources. Also, apparently, and which this was, the biologist kind of went over this, and then the guy that I talked to on the phone, deer hunters that are feeding untreated corn, it is killing turkeys because.
Ooh, okay.
And
All right.
this is a fact. So
Now, why is this?
When it gets wet, right?
no, it's not when it gets wet. It could be that also, but I was told that when turkeys come to a corn pile that's not spread out, they're going to sit there and scratch and eat on that corn. What's a turkey always doing? It's just like a goose. It's always pooping.
Yeah.
So when that poop settles into the ground from the rain or gets on the corn, starts E. coli. And E. coli is bad for people, animals, anything. It gets into a water source, it'll kill people.
Right.
Mhm.
So what is happening is this corn is getting infected. Somebody throws another bag of corn out in the same spot where they've been pooping. Those turkeys go back to eat it. It gives them a disease. I don't know the exact name of the disease. Do you?
I don't either.
But apparently it's a parasite or something like that that gets in their head.
Yeah, it's
and
a
it kills 'em.
parasite type disease that it just takes control of their body and shuts them down.
And a turkey doesn't have an immune system like a deer or anything like that. Turkeys get sick, they're done. And
I heard that.
they are saying that it can wipe out complete flocks within a year or two.
Yeah.
So with the law about being able to bait on private land,
I haven't seen nothing about that though.
yeah,
But
I have heard a similar thing about the corn piles.
the biologist, there's a podcast that the biologist did. You may have listened to it. I don't know if you did. She just did it last week with another guy from in this area.
Yeah, listen to part of it.
Yeah, and she was talking about it, and you can actually buy a corn that is treated that apparently helps that.
Okay.
So if you're a deer hunter or anything like that, and you've got turkeys and you enjoyed a turkey hunt,
Have you guys tried smoking the legs or the wings yet?
I have not smoked one.
Yeah, I had a buddy smoke a wing. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I'm messaging some people that's watching. Guys, are y'all here? Okay. Is everybody? Can everybody hear us?
I think they're back.
Have you guys hunt a lot of private land? I take it.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Have you
No,
noticed
just bits
population?
and pieces that we get, have had permission to
Okay.
hunt before.
Well, yeah, we're good. We're back.
We're
on.
good.
Let's just go ahead and jump into the predator control.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to baby poults, everything is out to get them.
Hogs.
Once you got hogs that are after them, hawks.
Even before they're poults, the eggs.
Yeah, the eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, like me and Ethan was talking about, a coon and a possum, they can
Annihilate it.
destroy a nest.
Raccoons destroy
Do- do-
nests
do you
when
guys
they're
have-
just
we have
eggs.
skunks down here a lot. We got a big population of
Oh,
skunks.
I don't know about this area, but I know out in Rome and stuff like
There,
that.
there
they've
is
got some.
skunks here.
Skunks will too.
It's not a huge population like it. Used to. They said there was a lot around here.
Yeah.
Like you'd see them on the side of the road. Now they're still here. I
Mm-hmm.
know guys see them over in Dawson Forest all the time, but there's not as many. But
Nope.
they are still present.
What about the armadillos?
So I saw one dead on the road the other day.
And those are coming north, and that's not going to help the fact.
But
So
they are nest raiders.
They're a nest raider also, you think?
I
I haven't seen
I would
any,
assume. I
anything
mean,
on
I would
that.
assume, considering that possums do, that armadillo would as well. I'm not positive on that.
Mhm.
I've never been asked that because we've never had them up here until here in the last couple of years. They've started to,
And Jeremiah, you said coyotes are pretty bad for them. Coyotes are bad, and also a bobcat. Bobcats,
yeah,
Yeah.
coyotes, bobcats, and raccoons. I would put
for
the
that
top
matter,
three,
house cats too.
yeah, house cats.
are
and foxes.
Yeah.
devastating predators.
But here's a good thing. So we jump into the predator control. Back when I was a kid, when I wasn't even turkey hunting, the piece of private property we had, my grandpa used to feed them, and we'd see 50, 60 turkeys at a time. Well, you can ask Ethan. Back when we were young, first started really deer hunting together, we barely seen turkeys. Okay, well, I got a buddy. I let him trap for 2 seasons over on that private ground. He pulled out a bunch of coyotes, a couple bobcats, couldn't tell you how many coons. Now, I got a good population of turkeys.
Yeah.
I've still never killed a turkey off his property because you can ask Ethan, they're aggravating as hell to kill over here. But
they're aggravating.
I mean, my hen to gobbler ratio
is like
it's
one gobbler to about 30 hens.
Yeah.
I'd say 20 to 30 hens, not 10.
But the thing is, I had no population of turkeys whatsoever until I had somebody come in and help with my predator control.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these guys that don't go out and take care of the coons or the possums or coyotes or anything that have private ground that want a better turkey population, let trappers come in after you're done deer hunting. Let them take out some coyotes. And if you got friends that are coon hunters, let them come coon hunting. Coon hunting does not run deer off. Those deer are going to be right back in. I promise. We've coon hunted all season, still seen all kinds of deer on our land. Those coons, you take a coon out, I say a coon could destroy a whole nest in a night if it found it.
Oh, sit there till it eats
Oh,
everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
It's minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's minutes it'll destroy it.
Cody
That's what I was going to
has
say.
got
Cody Jones called that disease is called aflatoxin, I guess. Aflatoxin.
It's a bacteria.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I said, thank you, Cody, for that. Appreciate it.
there's not a lot of people that trap anymore up in this area.
No,
because the main reason you ain't got a lot of people that let them come in, and I'm not sure if WMA's let people trap. Y'all may know.
I don't know.
WMAs are very strict on what you can and can't do with trapping.
And some of them will be different, right?
Yeah, I know some states are very open to that. Georgia, I'm not positive. I know some people have talked about it. I think the biggest problem is in Georgia, a lot of the laws for WMAs are very wishy-washy.
Yeah,
like there's so many rules that people have a hard time reading through them all and deciphering them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then people that aren't sure, they're just not going to do it because they're not going to get in trouble, you know. So
and trapping's a fairly short season anyway. In the winter, most of the time, in the dead of winter,
Yes.
is it not? So
it's usually like from October to January.
well, the problem is once deer season ends,
and there's no financial reward. To
Yeah,
trap.
not like it
prices
used
are
not
not-
like
yeah.
it used to be. I
Yeah.
mean, heck, even when I was in early high school days, middle school days, a coyote pelt was worth $10, $15.
well, see, that's the thing is a lot of young guys around here used to like doing it just for that.
Josh Amos.
Yeah, just for the fun of it and, you know, the extra money, and they would do it and we're good at it. But when all the pelt prices drop, they didn't have an incentive to do it anymore.
It's a lot of work to.
It's
to
a lot of
skin
work
it
without
and
reward.
Trapping is
Yeah.
a ton
Right.
of work.
Right there, Mr. Facebook user. No trapping on a WMA.
Yeah, so
Right
there
there.
you go.
So absolutely.
That's what I
So
thought.
But
that sounds correct.
for all the guys that really love turkeys and are having problems on their land, you know, let some coon hunters come in, maybe take out a couple coons. Let some trappers come in. There's traps for coons. I mean,
Dog-proof traps. Yeah.
dog-proof trap. A coon trap, guys, all it is, it's literally like this water bottle cap, and it's probably about 4 inches deep. A coon sticks his arm in it and can't pull it out.
And now all the new traps got the rubber on it anyway.
Yeah.
There's humane foot traps.
Josh Amos, I'd never do it, but I could not tell you how many times I watched him set a trap and stick his hand in it, and it does not do a thing. It's not like they're trapping grizzly bears or anything like that.
Listen, Michael Temples, that's a good point. Trapping seasons when the pelts are good and thick. Winter pelts bring more money, so that's why I guess
they're
they said
thicker fur and everything.
makes
like that.
absolutely. Hey, that's a great point there, Michael. I appreciate you chiming in right there.
But seriously, think about it. I mean, let some people come in and trap. You know, let some coon hunters in, and just let it. If you want to do it without the dogs, just let somebody come trap for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And just try to keep a number on your turkeys, and you're going to see it skyrocket. You start getting them coons and bobcats and possums out, your population is going to go up.
So you think coon? And of course, I was upstairs for a little bit when we were off, and you guys got talking, and so I missed a little bit. But you would say the coons,
Yes,
possums,
Jeremiah.
bobcats are more detrimental than the coyotes.
Look
coyotes.
look at what the house
And coyotes, okay.
Coyotes and foxes.
yeah, look at what the house cat did to bobcat quail in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
there
man,
you go.
yeah.
Trap work better than snares. Yes, I would say. Cody Jones, the biologist, says that the disease won't kill the turkeys unless they eat a big amount of that corn that has the fungus, and the fungus grows on wet corn also. Well,
and if you talk to most,
right?
Well, the problem you get with that is that most, and I'm sure we got a few deer hunters on there. The problem is if you deer hunt and you're deer hunting a specific spot and you're hunting a specific spot, you're going to go back in
and
week or every other week, every time you're out of corn, you're going to put it in that same spot when you're on a big buck. So when you're doing that, if you're not putting treated corn or at least spreading it out and moving it a little bit,
right?
Just not the same pile could make a difference.
All right, so Patricia come up with a great thing, and again, Patricia, one of our anglers, I am so glad. I don't look good with my pencil in there. I'm so glad you're still watching. That's awesome. But you can get a nuisance control license and trap year round. Lots of landowners will pay per animal removed, thankfully, because the money just isn't there for the fur anymore. And I will say this: I did not
know that in Georgia.
I did not know that, but I bet you that's more prevalent down in South Georgia than it is up here, or Atlanta South.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we got a lot of yotes up here and a lot of bobcats.
We do.
A lot of coons.
So, and another thing too is, we can talk about just us humans as encroachment as we're building.
Yeah, that was one of the things.
Did y'all talk about that already?
We didn't touch on that,
but a lot of loss of habitat is definitely happening. And to be quite honest, I think sometimes turkeys are often overlooked by a lot of hunters. It's easier to kill a deer.
Yeah.
We're just talking about killing a deer, we ain't talking trophies. Take it all out to just go kill a doe with a rifle. It's easier.
Yeah,
you got to do some work for a turkey.
I think last year.
And that's right, Michael. Big bucks don't eat out of a corn pile.
Hey, you're not wrong.
They do early season.
They will. They'll take them does out. So yeah,
I think last year the state of Georgia had some of the most turkeys killed because of the COVID. I mean, Ethan, a
lot of people were boogieing.
Yeah,
a lot of people got put out of work or were sent to work from home, and they would just get to go hunt when they wanted, where normally they didn't.
And it fell during turkey season.
Every WMA was full.
Every WMA all year long last year.
Every WMA, every lake, every state park,
about everything.
Yeah, it was. So.
But I really feel like that kind of put a hurting. But it's more than just the predators. They're trying to make some rules where there's no decoys. So for me as a turkey hunter, I'm not a big decoy guy because I don't like to carry them. Now, me and Ethan, we've used a decoy a couple times. I don't know how many birds we've killed over them. It's not many. But for me, I'm not a big decoy guy. So I don't really care about the decoy situation, how some people want to ban it, some don't. For me, I don't carry one.
I have personally killed as many without as I have with. It's probably even number.
I've had decoys scare turkeys off.
Yeah.
So
seen that happened to us.
I really don't use them that much.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably even number for me. It's not a big advantage or disadvantage to me.
Interesting comment in the section from Facebook user: $20 on a tail on beavers in South Georgia. Most counties have bounties. That's pretty interesting because we don't up here in North Georgia for anything. I can't think of a bounty.
I know Pickens. They did a coyote bounty 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Didn't GON do something last year?
GON does. GON does them. And again, a Facebook user, give me your name right there, buddy, so I can address you by your name.
So decoys was one. The season dates.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah, you can start off on that.
Well, why would you?
Well, see,
what's the biological reason for that?
Well, they think with the less pressure and less hunting time, there will be less killed, and then
more breeding.
They want more breeding. But the problem is that's not going to change it, in my opinion. What's going to help is the end of season around here on a real warm year. They've already got their nest down by the end of season.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've still got people hunting and all that stuff and disrupting nests, that causes as much harm to me.
Because it usually slows down by May, and people have they've either killed their birds or they've just kind of lost interest in it.
Yes. So, I mean.
Hey, Rob. That's Rob. Okay, so Rob Young, Facebook. I'm not sure, Rob. I don't know why it's showing up at all, but it's not. But glad you're here tonight.
So do you guys agree with the 3 birds instead, or the 2 birds instead of 3?
If they're that worried, if the numbers are true and they're that worried about the population dwindling, I don't have a problem with them dropping it for a couple years to see if that boosts it back up. Drop it to 2.
Yeah.
Drop it to 2.
And
the 1 bird a day deal, I get their reasoning behind that, because what's happened over the years, especially on WMAs, is you get these guys that find a really hot spot on a WMA that they like, and it's holding a lot of gobblers. Well, once they get in there, say it's a pair of buddies like me and Blake that hunt together. Well, they go in there, they're younger, don't know any better. They might call it 4 2-year-olds and shoot all 4 of them out of one spot in one day.
Right.
That's why they're wanting to change
the
to one
day.
daily bag limit, because you're taking all these gobblers out of these same specific spots.
Yeah.
And then it's lowering the population in that one spot specifically.
What is the percentage in Georgia that any of you guys know that the success rate?
For turkeys?
It's not high.
Nah.
I don't
You
think
gotta be
so.
looking 10 to 20% are actually successful.
It's more than that. I mean,
not
you
for a
look
whole
at-
season on a given hunt.
on a given hunt.
On a
God.
given hunt, it's pretty low.
It's probably 30 or 40%, maybe.
I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah. Look how many
If you're
times
just
we.
talking about one hunt,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
your
agree.
success
You
rate
fail more than you.
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot more.
Yeah.
You fail a lot more than you succeed, and that's
Okay.
just part of it.
So you agree with dropping the bag limit also?
Oh yeah, I agree with dropping the bag limit.
If
and
the population
one a day.
is, you're saying,
I mean,
based
I mean-
on what you're seeing in the woods, so
based on what I've seen, I didn't hunt public land last year, so I don't really know. But I know the year before I could see a decline.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
the WMA that I hunted.
Here's
what WMA was that?
no, don't no,
Nah.
don't, don't,
Ah,
you don't
come
give out-
on!
Hey,
No.
hey, you don't give out none of that
Oh,
stuff.
what? Oh, good grief!
Look,
You got-
turkey
you know
hunters are
why?
very specific.
Go,
about that.
you go right around Dawson Forest, and there's cars on every single gate. You don't give
they
out where you're hunting.
they are, but most of them guys don't hunt no more than 100 yards, like deer hunters. They don't hunt no more than 150
It's-
yards off the road.
You're a little wrong on that.
You think so?
Yes.
Most of them. I've turkey hunted
You
Dawson
can be
Forest.
right and wrong. It
Yeah.
depends on where you're at. But
Okay,
You got-
well, I can tell you
you
those
got
one in
some
that
people
northern gate up there off of 53. A lot of them guys are just 100 yards off the
You-
road. And they're
you-
sitting there.
You got some guys like me and Ethan. You may be, for instance. Man, there was days me and Ethan put in 10 to 15 miles
Yeah,
last
I
year.
pack light and I go deep,
Yep.
and I just go.
I don't use blinds. We lace our boots up. We bring water and a couple snacks, and we hunt.
And
Yeah.
honestly, midday on WMAs are hot.
You know why? Because everybody's off of
Everybody's
them.
gone.
Everybody's packed up and went home.
Gotcha. Did any of y'all kill one this weekend? I think the answer is no.
no,
I
I
didn't.
actually only got to go one time.
Okay.
I
Um,
should have killed one Monday morning, but we couldn't get the deal
That's right. I
closed.
remember you talking about that. How about you?
I haven't even been
You
yet.
haven't been yet.
It'll be next week.
What happens if these rules are applied and you kill 2 with one shot? I guess you're just in trouble, or
Well, if you got caught, it would be a fine.
Yep.
It would be just like, I don't know. I would assume for that it would just be a simple ticket. Like if you report it, said, "Hey, I killed 2 with
Yeah.
one shot." I would
But you
assume they
don't
would
know.
just write you a normal ticket for that. It wouldn't be like,
if something
jail
like that
time or
happens,
nothing
yeah,
like that.
I would call immediately. Just be like, just stay. Just
yeah.
confess it.
I mean, you just face it right there and tell them what happened.
You'd be better off.
Yeah,
I think
because they're
there'd be
just
more
going to write
leniency.
you a fine versus if you hide it, you face jail charges then.
Yeah.
So
all right. So trophy seekers did not see any turkeys on their lease last year. Jeremiah I was going to ask if camo and scent covering is even necessary for turkey since you're in a blind. Well, scent covering is
camo is a big thing, but scent covering is not.
turkey can't smell.
A hen turkey, she will see you from 2 ridges away, boys.
Yeah, but
tell you that
the
right now.
smell, they had no sense of smell.
They have like no sense of smell.
So,
Very little.
A
if they do.
turkey's biggest friends are their eyes. I mean,
I heard if a turkey could smell, you wouldn't be able to kill it.
Probably,
you're probably right.
You wouldn't.
You
If
probably
a
right.
turkey could smell, it was done because their eyesight, like you're saying, Blake, is so.
It's
you know,
ridiculous.
If a
And
turkey could see as good as it smells, I mean, it could
Smells
smell as
good.
good as it
Versa.
sees, you would be hunting with rifles.
yeah,
We'll just put it like that.
Well, that's true.
And,
You wouldn't
another
go
thing
get
is they're hearing, man. They've got such an ability to be able to pinpoint sounds, to know
Yeah.
exactly where you're at when you call.
Yeah.
Even if they don't come in exactly then, they'll circle right back to where exactly where you was at.
they pinpoint you. It's crazy.
Yes.
Like that bird can be 2 ridges over. He'll cross over and be looking right where that sound was. And if he don't see what he likes,
He's
Gone.
gone.
turning
Oh.
around and leaving. He
See-
might strut all the way over, get 80 yards, not see what he's liking. He ain't gonna come no closer.
If he thinks there should be a hen there and there's not, he's going to get
Exactly.
suspicious.
And
Uh,
that's how I messed up Monday morning.
Okay, I got you. Clifford Wright. If Georgia was smart, they would follow Alabama with turkey hunting and fishing as long as they put the same effort into the management. And I will say this, I've heard that comment from a lot of
What
people.
does Alabama do?
Well,
I'm not
Alabama,
sure. I know they got a 5 bag limit. I know that
Yeah.
turkeys are covered over there.
I don't
Alabama.
know, but I think what he's referring to as well is that Alabama puts a lot of emphasis into, I know, largemouth bass,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money. So they put emphasis into the lakes. And I guess what he's saying is they put the same with the turkeys and deer hunting, so like that. So I think Alabama, that maybe their DNR, whatever they're called, they just, it's a little more emphasis into building it up and making it a bigger thing than what we do here in Georgia. And I mean, so I think that's what he's saying, especially because he's talking about being into the management and everything like that. So that would be my guess. I know that, and I'm definitely by no means am I knocking anybody in the DNR or anything for what they do in Georgia. I think sometimes Georgia's just got, basically you can split
it's
Georgia.
overlooked with some things.
It is, but I think you can split Georgia into two different states pretty much.
You got South and North Georgia.
Atlanta North.
Yeah. And Atlanta
Actually,
South.
could go three. So you got the mountains, then you got Metro Atlanta, and then you basically just got South Georgia.
I mean, if
and you know,
you get political about it, look back.
Political. I like that.
No, look back when they allowed baiting in South Georgia, but North Georgia it wasn't allowed, and then it moved a little further south or further north.
Right.
And then you had the big meeting, and people flooded to that meeting to be able to let baiting allowed in the whole state.
Yeah, Ron said most states around us do a better job of management than Georgia does, and I think that's on the whole. Whole level.
So. Alabama has less human growth too.
They do. They do. That is absolutely true.
I never thought about that.
You take Atlanta out of the equation, and when I say Atlanta, let's take Metro. That 5-6 Metro county.
Every bit of
and
Metro
just include
Atlanta.
Forsyth County now, because hell, it's Metro
Forsyth
Atlanta.
County's getting the same way.
I mean, Forsyth County is an
look at
Indian word
400.
for how many houses can I stick on a
I went down 400 the other day, and just the year within, or just the growth within 2 years, it blew my mind going down.
It's
400.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, but if you could take Atlanta and pull it off, then there's still a lot of rural areas.
Oh, there's some amazing hunting.
But the problem is that all the policies and stuff probably come out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't know that to be true. So if you watch this tonight or in the future and you work with the government, the state of Georgia, DNR or wildlife,
we'd love to talk to you.
Absolutely. You leave us a comment. I'm actually going to start reaching out to some guys like that on the fishing side too. I want to get some more of the state stuff like that. So
let's keep talking about the season. You're not agreeing with it. I dang sure don't agree with it. I don't believe that people that hunt private should have a longer season.
No, I don't agree.
Well, my thing about it is, if I don't see the huge benefit they're trying to get out of it if they're already going to drop the bag limit.
I think the benefit they're trying though is just like he said earlier. There you go. Is the uninterrupted breeding? Make sure more hens get bred. Which it's not a horrible idea. Maybe for a week, not a month.
Yeah,
that's excessive.
If they moved it a week or two, okay, that's one thing. But moving it almost a whole month, it's a lot.
Man.
It's a lot considering how many hunters hunt.
You talking about Jeremiah's comment right there? Yeah. If any out of town folks are considering stop moving to Atlanta, we're full. Yes, you are, buddy. But the problem is you're overflowing into everywhere else up here. So, and I know you know that.
It's coming north.
And again, Ron, it was not a shot at our DNR either from me. And absolutely, I understand that. It's just we value different things. Like if Atlanta and the state of Georgia now tax incentives to movie production companies and basically we want to try to be the Hollywood and all that. We give a lot of bringing the TV shows and stuff like that. I'm hoping one of you guys will watch this and pick us up at some point. But anyway, we're doing that. But imagine if we took the outdoors and gave them that same.
It's probably funding too. You know what I'm saying? They got a certain amount of funds to go to certain things. Yeah. So that Turkey's probably drawing the short end of the stick on that one.
It probably is. But I understand, Ron, what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. I didn't take it that way. And again, the DNR can only work with what they're allowed to work with.
I feel like the DNR isn't funded as well in Georgia as what it is in some states. And, a lot of that comes down to us hunters. I know there's a certain there's licenses bought every year, but I mean, you still have organizations that you can put money toward the DNR, and that helps a lot. But like I said, the funds are spread thin. You got stocking programs and lakes for the stripers and everything like that. I didn't realize that there was a turkey population, or that the population in Georgia for turkeys was going down until this year when they started bringing everything up. And I know there was a big meeting, is either up in Dalton or Chatsworth, about 2 months ago, and they started discussing all this.
I want to bring that up too while you said that, because I'm going to read an email that I saw today that I got while we're doing that. I'll find it up. But also, Clifford Wright, again, basically echoed what you said. when he's talking about the hearing. It probably gets you busted nearly as much as their eyesight. You just don't know when you've been busted because
I feel like a
they've
lot
heard
of
you,
like early season,
right?
and I've learned this in probably the past 2 or 3 years is, man, stick a mouth call in your mouth when you're walking through the woods, and you might look like an idiot, but take your foot and just scratch the leaves every now and then when you're walking, and just cluck, do some purring, do some yelping when you're walking.
If you can yelp, like you say, and scratch leaves, I don't call turkeys in itself.
Oh yeah, sometimes you may have a turkey across the other ridge, and you're like, oh, is that
Just making those noises.
What's going on over there? Sometimes they just get curious, and they're like, well, that kind of sounds like a turkey over there scratching. You know, I want to see what it is. But if you're doing that, better be paying close attention because, like I said, they can pop up on you quick.
If you listen to turkeys walking through the woods, they make a lot of noise.
Oh, they make a ton.
Yeah,
of
they
noise.
ain't worried about
They
it.
make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Another thing is a lot of people, you know, they're always trying to be really quiet when they're turkey hunting. Well, guys, they're used to hearing deer and everything else walking through the woods too, and other turkeys. So you don't always have to be silent unless you know exactly where a bird's at that you're trying to sneak up on. You don't necessarily need to be silent all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's happened to me several times, probably you guys too, to be sitting there having a conversation with your buddy, and then somebody just start and hit a call, and a bird gobble 100 yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you're scrambling to sit down.
a lot of
Get
times.
set up. Yeah, it's happened a lot. And you're
times.
scrambling to sit down.
And
get
they're
set up.
on you
That's happened
within
to me and my son before.
They're on you within 2 minutes, and you're like, oh man, that happened.
And you're sitting in the middle of a logging road, look like a stump.
We've had that happen to us a couple times.
I want to take this chance too. Just guys, it never hurts to get on the email list for like right now. I've got the DNR Wildlife Resources Division. They it comes through Georgia DNR Wildlife. Yeah, that's it. I get their emails, and you can sign up, and it says this is one I got yesterday. Public input requested. Hunters, your input welcome on proposed regulation changes, and
I got that also.
And you can go in and look. But the thing is, if you're not signed up to this and you're not paying attention to this stuff can get passed without you even knowing it. You know, they've got this one says they've got hearings going.
I suggest everybody try to find that email and respond to it.
And if you don't, if you don't, text me your you can message me on Facebook. You can either do it on just do it over Fish North Georgia. And if you want to send me that, I'll forward it to you.
Is that the one with the surveys?
No, not this one. This one's got comments. General proposed regulation deadline for comments is April 26th, and the hunting proposed regulations April 30th. So it's coming up. They've got some virtual meetings on April 13th. It's going to be a Facebook Live. But I imagine this covers not only probably the turkey ones that we're talking about today, but anything they're going to do with the deer or any other thing. So this is just basically the big one. But again, if you're not tuned into this stuff like that, you could miss that.
Oh, yeah.
All these regulations. Easy. I wonder how many people will watch this now or later, and they have no idea.
And some people don't, because like if you don't check your email or stuff, you would never see this stuff.
Especially with the drawed hunts and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you know, usually if you buy license every year and stuff, they have your email address. They have your login. Right. So they will email this stuff to you. Yes. But if you're someone who doesn't check your email regularly, you may not even see it until you hear it from a buddy a month later.
That's right.
And by that time, it's too late.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. So what do you think about Clifford Wright's comment in there? I would like to see a federal stamp for turkey hunting.
If it's in other, maybe a state stamp, if there's some certain states that already have stamps, I could agree with that.
I think he's getting at it kind of like how they do waterfowl is another source of income for it.
Yeah, but where does that income go? Do we know?
That's the big thing.
Right.
Nobody.
That's the big thing.
If it's a state, I would agree with a state because I know it stays inside the state.
Right.
If it's federal, you know,
it goes
where.
I don't think when it comes to money, we trust anything anybody does with the money these days. And that's just from every aspect of government. Yeah, I don't. If I gave him $1 and said it was supposed to go to turkeys, I can't.
Yeah, that's
right now. As I'm sitting here, I'm saying there ain't no way in hell that money's going to turkey.
And while we're talking about
going to raises and everything else,
right?
It's just like you were saying a minute ago about the different states and stuff. In Georgia, you don't have you don't have as many as some other states I know of. You don't have a lot of guys coming to Georgia to hunt, so you're not getting all that money from out of state residents.
Right.
Absolutely, okay. Yeah. The other states get, you don't see people coming south to hunt big deer. They go out west or up north. You don't see, I would say you get some turkey hunters coming from nearby states like Alabama, Florida coming up in the
because
South.
The seasons earlier,
all that kind of stuff. But honestly, the non-resident turkey hunting license, I don't think it's that much. I think it's pretty cheap.
I know Alabama's.
Yeah.
It's like $200.
Kentucky's is 300 and something.
Right. And,
Okay.
you know, so
For the
that
deer, I
takes a
know
lot
that
of
for
state
sure.
funding out right there when you're not getting as much.
And that's why they increased it, because they have a huge
Non-residents
population of
buying
people coming
license.
in and hunting out of state. You know, it's just more funding for them.
Right.
To put back into the elk, turkey, deer, whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this. Okay. So we've talked a little politics. But let's get talking in the turkey themselves and hunting them. All right. So there are three
Got
main.
one question,
Okay.
and man, you've already talked about it. Should adults be able to kill jakes?
Oh, good grief!
I'm
You
not.
already said
I'm
it.
talking. I'm talking 16 and under allowed to kill jakes. Adults shouldn't kill jakes.
That's a good idea.
I
in
agree with
my
the
opinion-
idea,
in
but
my
how you gonna
opinion-
enforce it?
It would
You
be
enforce it.
hard.
Well, if you're doing it on WMAs, maybe not private ground, but there's states that already enforce that on WMAs, and it's a big fine.
Listen. I agree with you. Let them grow.
Yeah. Well, my
Yeah.
thing is, if they're that worried about the population, especially on the private public land, I
Yes.
think that would help a little
That
bit.
should be enforced.
Now, trophy seekers. Let's say, yeah, Michael Temples and trophy seeker outdoors. A lot of guys do come up from Florida.
yeah, to
Right,
hunt deer
Now,
that's what I'm
especially.
yeah,
for
they
deer
definitely do, especially for deer.
But other than Florida,
Right.
you don't get anyone coming just
Nobody's
like
gonna
other
pay a
states.
$500
Yeah.
per buck fee like they would like if we're going to Illinois or
Right.
something like that.
and
stuff
you
like that.
and
I
you
get
don't
that.
and guys aren't coming to Georgia to hunt ducks, hunt waterfowl. They're all
No.
going west.
I know
Arkansas,
that. I got
Missouri,
that. I got
that.
Tennessee.
It's just not as much as other states,
Okay,
in my opinion.
I got that. It makes perfect sense. All right, so now listen. There are basically
Michael Temples, I don't think somebody should be out shooting spikes, honestly. But that's just me.
it's just listen.
That's
listen.
my opinion.
Yeah, it's just buttons back there. I totally get it, buddy. Trust me. So what if we do this now? Let's go in and talk about the actual turkeys themselves. Let's get it out. So here in Georgia, we hunt what is known as the Eastern.
Easterns,
Right.
yes.
All right, and then there is the Osceola
Yep.
Rio Grande
and the Rio Grande
and the Merriams.
Merriam.
and the Merriam.
and
So
the Goulds,
The Goulds are Mexican.
Mexico and Arizona.
Yeah.
I think
But
southern
you
part of
have-
Arizona.
There's some in Hawaii. I don't know what they are.
There's
okay,
the,
but basically
Os-
we got four
Yeah.
that we're everybody. That's the
Yeah,
slam.
there's 4 main turkeys, and
Ocelot, that's just in South America, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? I say it right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not.
It looks more like a peacock / turkey.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah,
okay.
hybrid.
It's a hy-
crazy.
okay.
Is that what it is?
Peacock hybrid. It's
Yeah.
a turkey peacock.
Gorgeous bird, but you're literally hunting them in Amazon.
And they're
Okay,
able to
all
shoot
right.
them out of the trees, right?
But in Georgia we're hunting Eastern.
Yeah, you're
Right.
hunting
And
Easterns.
Easterns only.
Maybe,
Easterns only.
maybe in South Georgia you might find an Osceola.
I think
Maybe.
Osceola is more like central.
Yeah,
It's central south.
I know you got to get down south
Because even in
south.
North Florida, they got Easterns.
Hey,
And
we
it-
appreciate you
Yeah.
guys. If we jumped off for a second, that's all right. There's a lot of buttons here. We do the best we can do.
was it Cody Jones oscillated? Yeah.
Yeah, Osceola.
I don't think they
Yeah.
got okay. So in Georgia, we're hunting the Eastern.
Yep, and it's called the Grand Slam when you go kill all 4
You
in
kill all
a season.
All right, so let's just talk about the Eastern.
Yep.
And the characteristics of it compared to others. And I know you've hunted others in other states.
Right.
So let's start with you and talk what makes the Eastern turkey different.
It's a I think it's the hardest bird to hunt. That's what everybody,
Really?
Well, I take it back. The Osceola. That's the only other bird I've ever really hunted.
right.
Only because I didn't know what I was doing. And
Right.
so the Eastern is bigger, right? I think heavier gobbles.
Especially heavier than the Osceolas.
Yeah,
The Osceolas is going to have longer spurs.
they do
Lot
have
longer.
longer spurs.
Well, yeah. So that's a physical difference.
Yeah, I know. I have a lot of buddies that's went and hunted,
Everything.
Osceolas and Merriams and all that stuff. And everybody always says Osceolas and Easterns, they're the 2 100% hardest to kill,
Okay.
without a doubt. The Rios and the Merriams, they say if you're used to hunting Florida and Georgia birds, it's easier for you to go out there and kill those versus those people coming here and killing
And
these.
is that because of the terrain? You think because those are flatland birds.
Georgia, the terrain plays a big factor.
I would say that's a factor in it. Another one is, this goes back to the predator control thing, is here a lot of places you can get a bird to gobble 20 times on when he's in the tree, but when they hit the ground, they're
Tight-lipped.
quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
They shut up because of predators. That affects that. Predators on the ground affect how they act on the ground.
All right, and I want to get this out too before we get into the calls and everything. You've hunted. I want you everybody tell everybody about hunting the swamps in Florida for an Osceola. Just describe it because I think it's very interesting.
So when I went down there and hunted, I've been turkey hunting for about 3 years. I started consistently killing birds. So I was like, I've got it figured out. So I was going to start with Florida. I was going to try to get my Grand Slam. So back then, the internet wasn't like it is now. So it's hard to get information. I found a piece of public land down there that had Osceola turkey. Drove down the day before season, drove around those little roads. What I didn't know was that the only piece of drive there was the roads.
You listen to this. This is awesome.
Everything else was swamp, and there's a little bit of high ground out in the swamp. So to get to that, you had to walk through the water. That's where the turkeys was. They very, very rarely would you see them in the roads. So they'd be out there in the little high grounds in the middle of the swamp.
So walking through a swamp, alligator swamp.
And alligator swamp. Boy.
When I first got down there, the first day I was there, I was driving down the road, rounded the corner, and only 2 6-foot gators sunning in the road.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, hell no.
That was day one.
Well,
No.
honestly, down there, gators the least of your problems. It's the snakes you can't see in the water.
Well,
And
yeah,
they're
sure.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And everything's kind of like people talk about Texas, everything poaching, stabs you, and everything like that. That's what Florida was.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even tell if I could hear the birds. It's just so loud. I'd never been in a swamp like that before. So just hearing all the noises, all the birds and everything making noises and stuff just scurrying through the brush, that would just scare you to death. You'd just be sitting there trying to listen to something screaming. You'd be shining lights trying to look see what it was. So it wasn't. I wasn't prepared. I just went in there on a whim, and I think that's where it backfired on me. I think if next time I go down there to hunt them, I'm gonna be more prepared, research, just look stuff up and stuff like that.
I ain't walking through no damn swamp for a bird.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I want to do the Grand Slam so bad. Where's I going with this?
I think that
was there a bud in there?
But yeah, the anacondas and gators scare me.
And listen, there's snakes that can swallow your legs. Huh? Keep going. You adjusting a little bit there. Listen, there's stuff down there.
The camera.
There's stuff down there that will eat you.
Yeah.
All right, listen, when I go up here, Dawson Forest, all right, I'm not gonna get eaten. You go down there.
I might have a Black Panther come at you.
Oh, Black Panther.
Hey, there are Panthers in Georgia. Don't even play that game.
Listen.
Hey, I did.
Go.
I seen one in Hancock County when I was
goodness.
17 years old going down the dirt road going deer camp.
Oh, here we go.
Have you hunted out of state, killed any of the birds, or just eastern?
No, I've not personally went out of state and hunted them yet. I mean, I've done other hunting out of state, waterfowl hunting, stuff like that, but I have not went and hunted turkeys out of state. Usually because I spend so much time here doing it.
Evan Savage, that's a name I haven't seen, buddy. So number one, thank you for tuning in tonight. And Python, that's right, Python problem in Florida is massive.
Anacondas.
Let's go kill
all
a
these
python.
Snakes on this. That's what goes on.
Okay, I know there are panthers in Florida.
That is true.
Now listen, we want to get our panther stories out because everybody's got a panther.
I have seen a black
I will
panther.
say this, and it might have been alcohol induced.
Knowing you probably was. I was sober.
Listen, back in the day, there used to be a place called Mashburn Bottoms over in Forsyth County, right by the Chattahoochee River. Anybody knows where it was at? If you go out 20, and that used to be all, you go down them roads and be farmland. It's now these big subdivisions, stuff like that. We may or may not have partake of an adult beverage or two one night, and we're out there by the cornfields. All I'm going to tell you is this: it had a long black tail. I don't know what it was, but I'm just saying it had a long black tail. I still remember it to this day. And I was with my buddy Eric Hamrick and a couple other guys, but I'm not going to tell you it was a panther, but it was not a house cat.
I watched this thing walk across a dirt road at 60 yards with the headlights shining right on it. I know what I seen. I'll take it to the damn grave. It was a black panther.
And here's my thing on it. I'm not going to say there is or isn't because I know there's people that swear they've seen them, have pictures, whatever. I've never personally seen one around here. Yeah, But what I have seen that a lot of people misconcept around here, especially if they're not big hunters and don't know, is I have seen all black bobcats.
And that could have
solid. I've seen solid black bobcats. Didn't
that's
have
right, Michael Temples around Hall Creek.
Yeah. They did not just have stub tails either. I mean, they've actually got a little bit of a tail. So sometimes that can be.
It could have been. And listen, anybody that knew me back in that frame of time back during the day, and some of the guys that I ran around and played softball with might say that it was, beverage oriented, that day. But I'm just telling you this. I still remember it. I just still remember it. But it could have been a coyote. It could have been something, but I'm just telling you, something crossed the road, and we locked that thing down. And that's the night we got. I had to ride back coming naked that night. We got the vehicle stuck down there in the bottoms, and I was in the back, and it was muddy. They wouldn't let me back in the car. So, yeah, those stories. I'll tell you about it off camera one day. But anyway, no, lightning is not about the strike here. But anyway, seriously, so that's our Panther stories. And my father-in-law saw one, a big cat-like critter up at the R Ranch above Dahlonega, which to me is more apt to become something. If anything did come down through Tennessee, through the mountains.
So there's panthers in Tennessee, but they're not in Georgia. Is that what you're
Listen,
saying?
I'm not telling you there's not panthers.
There used to be elk in Georgia too. And there have been sightings of elk in Georgia once again.
I can't see. Michael Temples knows all the people I used to run around with, so he knows some of these things. Fun crowd. It was a fun crowd. That's the reason all my bones hurt now, though, in my 40s and all that. We had a little too much fun. All right, so let's do. I will say this. Somebody seen a jet black coyote
I've seen
downtown.
that.
Yes.
I've seen black coyotes
I've
in Roswell
seen 'em.
hunting.
I've had my buddies kill them while we're deer hunting together. Those are common around here.
They are. You ever seen a coy dog?
Mm-hmm.
It was like half
dog, half coyote.
Yeah.
I've seen a jet black. You ever seen a jet black coy
I'd
dog?
shoot it too.
Oh, I'd
It
shoot
comes
all of them.
running through the
Absolutely.
woods.
So let's do this now. All right, we've been going about an hour and 5 minutes, and you guys got a lot of stuff out here. We're talking about we're hunting eastern turkeys.
Yep.
And there's a lot of these calls out here, and I know a lot of guys want to hear some of the stuff that you guys are doing. Blake's got a call in his hands right now. There's some different kinds. So let's start with this for somebody that's watching, and they're not a turkey hunter.
Easy something to start out with.
Easy something to start out with. And what are we trying to accomplish when we're in the woods and we're trying to talk to turkeys? What are we doing?
For me, for somebody who's wanting to start out, a lot of people's going to say a box call. I hate a box call.
And that's the one where you take it and you move it like that.
Take a box call. It literally looks like a box. It's basically a longer version of this, and it's got a handle. You put chalk under the handle and then on the top of the box, and you just slide it. I hate them. Throw them in the fire and burn them.
They're noisy.
They're noisy. Yeah. They're hard to carry in the bags. They make a lot of noise and everything. 9 times out of 10, you got to throw a rubber band around them to keep the handle from slapping.
Yep.
For somebody who's wanting to start out just to mimic a turkey or get the sound of turkeys, I would start this. It's a slate call, but it's a different kind. I don't know the exact name, but I'd start out with a slate call. To me, they're a lot easier to run. There's no prep. You grab a stick and you can start running it. I know there's all kinds of different kinds, but basically a slate call is going to look like a pot call. They call them a pot call. It's just a slate. So this is a glass, but a slate is going to have this. It's just a chunk of slate on it. And to me, that's the easiest running calls there is starting out for turkeys.
A slate call.
A slate call.
All right. So what about all these mouth calls that I see?
A lot of people can't blow a mouth call.
So you would not recommend those for a beginner?
It takes practice.
It takes a lot of practice.
Okay.
It just takes practice. And that's
the first call you ever used was a
push button as a little kid.
I saw okay.
Yeah.
Push button.
As a little kid.
Clifford Wright had a push pin call on his comment right there.
Push pin for people that's never hunted or for younger kids that, it's hard for them to practice mouth calls and stuff. Push buttons would be.
What about my buddy Brian right there who commented in the section that box calls have the truest sound though?
That's an opinion.
Debatable?
Thing.
Is that debatable, or
that's an
you guys
opinion thing?
Hey, that's opinion thing. I'm with him slate.
Listen, Michael Temples, that's funny. I can't use a mouth call and dip.
He's right.
I don't think nobody can.
And there's nothing wrong with a box call. I know people that are great with box calls and kill
your daddy.
Their limit of turkeys almost every year with box calls. But me personally, it's like he said, I don't like carrying one a lot of times because we walk so much that if you don't have it wrapped up tight in your vest with a rubber band and a piece of toilet paper under it, that's how I carry mine.
Toilet paper. Okay.
You just hit the end of the handle and it's sitting there chirping while you're walking.
We want to talk about toilet paper. Number one thing you want in your vest, you want some toilet paper and some dude wipes or some baby wipes one. That morning coffee hits you and you're doing a lot of walking. There's been a lot of mornings I'm running to go find somewhere to go.
I understand that. Michael puts, depends on the wood the box call is made of. And that's something else too, because we've been talking about stuff like that too. This is a little bit different, but again, it's just like fishing in that your equipment is important.
Yep.
You spend a little money on some better equipment, you're going to get a better, truer sound. Yep. It's just like anything we do in hunting and all that. So
there's a lot of turkey call manufacturers out there that are junk And then there's some of them that's good.
A lot of them's just mass produced.
Mass
Just get them
produced.
out of the door.
What do
quick
you
as
think
possible.
about the companies like Primos and stuff like that are mass produced now?
They're mass produced. I mean,
They're
it's-
mass produced.
there's no
They
attention
work.
to detail.
They still kill turkeys. You can still find a dumb
You can kill a
2-year-old.
turkey, but like you just said, the attention to detail on something like that is not what you're
When
going
you're
to find.
getting into attention to detail, you're getting into stuff like this: the custom made glasses, the custom made boxes, the trumpet calls. I mean, this glass call. When you start getting into the custom made stuff that somebody is putting their heart and soul into, it's not mass produced. They're taking their time. They're
putting their name on.
They're putting their name on it. Being perfectionists, you're gonna
And
see
be willing
results.
to pay more money for it. 'Cause
Exactly.
That's what you're
Thi-
paying for.
That's what I'm saying. Just like, yeah.
This dead ends game call. It's a $30 call. It's a glass call. I love to run a glass. This glass call, which I bought this year, it's a $115 call
Right.
for a glass call, and it's basically the same thing as this.
Just a little more detailed.
A little more detail. It's got some custom work done to the back, and it sounds better.
Yeah.
And the guy's got his name on it, and he believes. by it.
Okay, so let's do this. So so what is the difference between slate and glass?
Slate and glass.
I mean, as far as the tone,
slate, you're gonna get normally, not all of them, but normally a slate, you're gonna get a quieter.
Yeah, Jeremiah, we're getting ready to do that, buddy. We're getting ready to demonstrate.
You're gonna get a softer, quieter sound. It's one of those things. I carry both.
Mm-hmm.
I carry both
Always.
in my vest
Always.
because sometimes you only want to use your louder glass call, which you can get quiet on them,
Mm-hmm.
but they're typically louder. You use those to locate more.
Yep.
And to get a bird fired up. If you get them close, you don't want to be so loud. You want to be softer.
You're not wanting to scream at them.
So that's where you go to like your mouth calls you can get quiet on, or your slate where you can get real quiet clucks and purrs on.
Okay.
So there's a lot of variants to a lot of different calls.
All right. So let's start off in the morning. We're gonna find the bird.
We keep talking about mouth calls. This is a diaphragm call. Basically, what it is, it's a piece of surgical tape with
a metal frame.
a metal frame. What's this?
Latex.
Latex on the center. You can get these in a single reed where it's just one piece. You can get them in 2 reed where it's 2 pieces, and you can get some with 3.
Triple
And
ring.
Yep.
And what they do, they come into this piece of latex and they cut it, and that's going to give it a different variety of sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Every call maker, they have a different cut to their
A
calls.
different thickness on the latex.
Different thickness of the latex, different size metal. A lot of people will make the metal bigger. I've got one that's so small that a 5-year-old could blow because I can't even put it in my mouth. It's so small, and I had to put it up completely against the roof of my mouth.
And
just to
again,
be able
there's
to
a
run it.
technique to that as well.
Technique
and
to
all that.
this. This, I think these are, well, now that I've got into these, I don't know which one is harder to master. to be
Well,
honest.
we're gonna get into that. So
I think it's honestly the trumpet is
Trumpet's
the
pretty
hardest.
hard to master. I mean, I've been blowing one for
Years.
a handful of years, and I still haven't mastered it.
okay.
What about you? What are you doing?
My go-to is slate.
Slate.
I run a slate, and I've got an aluminum, an old school Silver Queen, Nightingale Silver Queen,
Mhm.
Yeah, an old one.
an old one.
Yep.
I'll run that when it's loud.
So
It'll reach
you're
up
saying
there.
old back before it got all
Hey,
mass-produced?
Primos used to make some good stuff back in the
A
day.
lot of Nightingale pretty much used to make good calls. back in the day.
Nightingale, Primos, and
H&S strut. Do you remember the
Yes.
Palmer's hoot tube?
that's what I was thinking of.
The old school hoot. That thing was money.
That and
was the
and
best
Woodhaven is a big one now. That's
Woodhaven.
being more mass produced than it used to be.
Okay, so all right, so we're all getting out, and again, I'm not the best turkey hunter in the world, so we're gonna all talk. We're gonna just kind of
I
go
w-
through. Oh, what do you want to do?
Could-
Somebody got a comment?
Now, Cooper McDonald, he said Pistol Creek. Can't read it because Paul put the thing up. Pistol Creek, Robb Brothers, and Woodhaven are some good calls. I will say this: Woodhaven, they make some great mouth calls. This is actually the Woodhaven Ninja. I've been using this for 2 years. It's
Right.
held up great. It
Okay.
sounds great. If you want to get started on some mouth calls, check out some Woodhaven. I know Dick's is probably about your best place to find them, but I would put my name on the Woodhaven Ninja.
I think they got them at
fallen in love
Cabela's,
with it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say Woodhaven is one of the more top of the line calls that you can just walk into any store and buy.
Mouth calls, yes.
That's my opinion, especially mouth calls.
No, but can you get custom mouth calls? Guys,
Yeah,
they'll make custom
There's
too?
people
Okay.
that make them. I mean, look at Dave Owens. 2-time world champ. He makes his own mouth calls, and he can't keep them in stock. I've tried buying them. As soon as he puts them on his website, they're gone. And he's a local boy. He's from Ackworth, Georgia.
Cooter's Outdoor Enterprise. That's another name I have not recognized yet. If I've missed you
Cooter,
before,
he's a guy that I've started following on Facebook and Instagram. He's not been started too long, but he's a deer killer, turkey killer.
There you go. All right, Cooters, listen,
local area.
Glad that you tuned in, man. I definitely appreciate you watching tonight. That's awesome. So
he's also does a little podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Does he? All right. Well, we might have to get together and do some stuff.
Glad you're watching, man.
Absolutely. Now, we're walking into the woods. We're going to locate a bird.
You got 3 things.
What are they?
You got your own voice for owl hooter, you got an owl hooter, or you got a crow call in the mornings.
What do you like to use?
I'll go with a coyote call.
Really? Down in
Yes.
Georgia?
Oh,
I've never done that in
I
Georgia.
didn't want to say that, but I'll drop that a little bit.
I thought that was like a Merriam and a Rio thing.
It works here too. I know people that do it. I personally don't, just because I've always had luck with just the regular old owl hooter.
But then we're locating. Where the turkey is still on the roost, and that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you're
would
gonna
generally
use them
try to let the turkeys try to gobble on their own,
Mhm.
but if they don't at a certain time, I'll then hit the
You want to get
coyote
them
call.
fired up.
Now,
I
when
wanna
you
get it
say you
fired
hit
up.
the coyote, is this a howl?
Just a howl.
You doing
Not
it
a bark.
yourself?
It's a howl.
The little Fox Pro, I think it's called
Yeah.
a coyote.
Yeah.
It's a little
Okay.
blue call, the one I used.
Something people also use is a hawk squill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
heard that before.
All
A
right.
goose call if you're on water.
Hey,
Yes.
you get some geese fly over, 9 times out of 10, turkey's gonna gobble.
That's right. Now you do a crow.
No, I do
Nope.
my own owl hoot.
Is it the owl hoot?
Mhm.
What was you? Is that what you were on the other day?
Yeah,
thought saw
I
it.
did
It
on
was
my
an
phone.
owl.
Yeah, now.
All right, do it.
Oh.
That sounds.
Oh, and
I guess you
they'll
get out the
they'll
woods.
gobble on the oh.
That
That-
loud,
that-
high pitched,
that
that
last
rolling.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get on a nice long ridge and you cup your mouth and do it. If there's a bird, he's usually gonna gobble.
Yeah, and I carry an owl hoot with me in my vest.
But
Now-
it's taken me a while to master.
That's
I'm not even that good of an owl hooter. There's some guys they can roll it and everything, but I've been working on mine for 3 years. But last year's first year. I
Now
got
that's
first
the
gobble.
question I was going to say. So you can buy something to make that sound that he just did,
Yes.
but
You can do it with your mouth.
you can do it with your mouth.
You just sometimes you can't get the echo as far.
Mhm.
That's where the call comes in for a lot of guys.
And so you cup your hand though to try to get that.
When
project.
I'm doing long distance, I'm as loud as I can, and that's when
Okay.
I'm rolling it off the end of it.
And anybody that follows you on Instagram, you've got a couple of those videos on
I
Instagram,
didn't.
don't you?
I just put it on my story. I mean, I could go
That's
back
on
and
your
post
story.
it.
You need
though,
to
yeah.
do that because I saw that and I was like, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Which alcohol do you run?
I do not remember the one I have in my vest now because I
Old
lost
school.
my old one. I had an
Yeah.
old school one. I lost it in the woods a couple years ago. I got a new one. I can't remember the name of it offhand. I don't have it with me. But you can
Check that out.
buy those from a lot of outdoors companies.
Dude, if I could hear a bird gobble to an elk call, I'd shit.
An elk call
In
in
North
Georgia.
Georgia.
That's
That's wild.
awesome.
That's
there
cool.
you go. And so,
Any noise like that. Any
so it's just
high-pitched
something you're
noise.
just shocking the
It's just
bird.
like I was saying earlier, it's like stubbing your toe. You're gonna scream, cuss, whatever. It just catches them off guard, and it's just a
Yeah.
See,
reaction. is what it is.
the other morning when that bird fired up on Monday, I owl hooted. I was 75 yards from him. Didn't want nothing to do with it. One of them damn red-headed woodpeckers fired up and started beating that
shrill.
boom, 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 on the side of the tree. Oh, he gobbled 50, 60 times on a roost and never shut up until he hit the
Never
ground.
shut up. Just something he was used to. And I think I saw somebody up there, might have been Cody. Y'all don't use a woodpecker or a hawk call to locate the birds. And sometimes you can let nature do it by
Yeah.
yourself. Like you were saying, if they don't gobble on their own,
Right.
then you'll bring it up. So,
Yeah.
I've been hunting near I-75 and had a tractor and trailer blow a tire and have them just fire up everywhere.
Oh, that's
Natural,
badass.
talking about natural, your natural crows every morning,
Yep.
your natural woodpeckers, your
Yep.
natural geese flying around if you're near a pond,
Sometimes a rooster crowing.
and
Yeah,
rooster
yep.
crowing.
Yep.
And as simple as if you're close to a road, like he said, the simplest thing of
a car door shutting.
and a car door slamming,
Blowing a horn.
sirens from an
Right.
ambulance or a police car.
just something to shock them.
We'll shock them every time.
And it's a shock response to them.
Yeah.
An Eastern turkey in the morning, he wants everybody else to know that he's the loudest thing in the
King of the
mountain.
spring.
He is the king of the woods on that spring morning.
This is a good comment by Clifford right there. It's funny how many owls show up all of a sudden on public land. Educated birds figured the deal out after a few weeks.
That is true.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All of a sudden, there's no owls, and there's 800 owls in the morning out there every morning.
And him talking about the public land, I don't use all those calls as much on public land. That's more of a private land, you're on your own type deal. I don't use all those every time I hunt public land.
There's different tactics between public land hunting and public land hunting.
Yes.
Or private land hunting. Because your private land birds, you're not going to hit those birds as hard as what people's hitting a public land bird. Like take me, for example, Monday, I should have killed that bird. I should have had him dead. He gobbled 50, 60 times. I went in Tuesday morning, did not hear that bird one time. And I didn't even call that much at that bird. But he was just in a different mood the next day.
In a different mood.
Turkeys are very moody.
They're moody. They're
stubborn.
hormonal.
Hormonal.
Yeah.
Let's just call it. Are they women? Is that what you're trying to say, Blake?
They got tendencies.
Tendencies. All right. Okay.
Yes.
So let's just say this: you've located your bird. Now, each one of you might do the same thing, or you might do something a little bit different. You're going after that bird. Blake, pick up one of them calls. What's the first call you're going to go with, and how are you going to try to get that bird to come to you?
Well, it depends. I mean, if I know where he's roosted, I'm going to try to get close to him.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to sneak in. I'm not going to make a peep until right before that fly down.
Which you can hear lots of times.
Yeah.
If
it's a quiet morning, you're going to hear him fly down. So if I've got that bird, I know exactly where he's at, and I'm going to try to go set up on him and kill him off his roost and try to cut him off before he starts heading to hens. I'm going to set up typically 75 to 100 yards, and I'm just going to throw in my mouth call. And it's hard right now. You got to give me a few minutes. But I'm going to put my mouth call in. Always, if I can get him coming, I'm not going to be trying to hit a slate call with him coming down the gun barrel with both my hands up.
Right.
That won't work. Keep your mouth call in. But I'm going to put my mouth call in. I'm going to act like a hen sitting on a limb. I'll take my hat off, and Ethan, he's been with me multiple times. You're just hitting your hat or whatever on limbs, trees. You want to do basically fly down cackle.
You want to sound like you're a hen coming out of the tree, landing in front of him.
A hen will sit on a limb in the morning and that's all it is, fly down cackle.
Yeah, he's trying to imitate the wing hitting limbs and stuff like that.
And there's people when they kill birds, they'll actually take the wings off of them and pluck the long feathers out, and they'll put them in a piece of wood or they'll duct tape them together, and they'll just keep that in the pack.
I think the hat works just as well.
I'm too dumb to do that. This thing right
it's
here,
just something else to carry around.
I'll tell y'all this. Watch for that little metal thing right there. I've busted my knuckle many mornings. And you talk about hurt. Oh, it hurts.
Oh, Blake, you use your mouth prettier than a $2 bill. There you go. That's a good compliment. There you go, Daniel. That's a good.
But for me, I'm always got my mouth call in if I'm walking through the woods. When I'm talking about walking and trying to sound like a turkey walk through the woods and scratching, I've got my mouth call in. Just because it's hard to walk and scratch and hit a glass call or something like that at the same time. But that's the first thing I'm going to go to in the morning if I know that bird is on the roost and I think he's going to come right
if you're already close to it.
If you're already close. What about you? You like the mouth call, Sid?
I'll run a mouth call, but just yelp, just like that last probably like 50 yards. If I can see that turkey, I'll stop. I'm on the gun, I'm on the barrel, and I'll just yelp with my mouth on the mouth call. But before that, if I come in the mornings and I've got one roosted, my thing is I try to get like Blake said, 75, 100 yards, but I'll try to get on the same level. Get it on the same level as the turkey, and then I'll get set up, and then I'll do the same thing.
When you say same level, you're talking about if he's up on the ridge, you're going to get up on the ridge. You're not going to try to call him down in the bottom.
Never get lower.
Okay,
yeah, all right. I've done it before, but turkeys are hard to call downhill.
Okay, all right.
So once I get there, just similar to what Blake did, starts like soft tree yelps, just 2 or 3. 4 or 5 calls, and try not to overdo it. Yep. That's my biggest problem. I love to hear turkeys gobble. I love to interact with them, and I will overcall. So
I'll get to cutting at them, and
you'll blow them out of the woods, or they'll be like.
And that's another thing. It goes back to the public and private thing.
Yeah.
Private bird that doesn't hear everybody's calls and doesn't get messed with as much, you can call to a little more a lot of times.
Exactly.
You get those public land birds that they've heard everybody and their brother beat a box call, beat a slate call really loud. You don't want to be loud. A lot of people are too loud. You only want to be loud when you're trying to find the bird.
Right.
Okay.
You're trying to locate on a windy day or something like that. That's when
Yeah,
you let it rip.
you know, you haven't heard any gobble. You want to get up high and get loud a little bit and try to locate one. Or if it's windy, like he said, and they can't hear as far.
Okay.
You know, there's a bunch of different factors with that. Also, early season, like right now, you don't have a lot of leaves on the tree.
Your
That sound is going to carry. You get later season, everything's green and thick, then you have to be a little louder.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it all varies on where you're hunting,
Right.
and a lot of it, and your woods. You know, are you hunting open fields or are you hunting thick hardwoods? You know, so it all depends.
It all depends. Okay.
It all depends.
All right. So how about public bird slow and low and less, which basically is just basically what you said
Yeah.
right there. So I don't care which one of you get which call. Why don't you each one of you split the calls up or however you want to do it? If you got, I don't care how you want to do it, but kind of let's go over each one of them and do. You gonna take the slate or the?
I don't know. I don't know the name of that. That is a slate.
So this is a slate call right here.
That is a very unique call.
That's more of a custom.
Yeah.
Okay, so gobbler behavior has everything to do with breeding stage of the flock in that area. If the bird ain't ready, he is better left alone until he is ready to die. Don't force the issue. So when love comes to town,
I do too.
Love comes to town, he's ready.
If you're trying to kill a bird that's got hens with him, you're being a ninja. You're trying to sneak up on him.
You're just trying to cut him off
and
where you're going to go.
You're trying to piss that hen off where she'll bring him to you.
Yeah, you can make the lead hen mad, and she'll come in to investigate to whoop that other hen and run him off.
So they're territorial birds.
Hens especially. And when you start cutting at a hen, I mean, it's clucking, it's yelping, it's kiki running. You're trying to shut her up while she's trying to shut you up. And you, within about 30 seconds, you're going to know if she's going to come to you or not.
Okay, so you just said three things. You said clucking, kiki, and what was the other one?
Yelping.
All right, so evidently there's three different things.
The kiki run, it's just a long, drawn-out process.
That's not something you use all the time.
No.
That's
okay.
It's more fall hunting, like in Kentucky. There's a fall
it's
season.
Like
if the flock gets
which is a hen, is it hen only?
It'll be hens, poults. I don't think jakes or gobblers will do it, but they'll do like a kiki run.
But I'm talking about in Kentucky with the fall season, you can hunt hens there, right?
Hens, gobblers, jakes.
Which we do not have here in Georgia.
It's a shotgun season too. There's like a week-long shotgun season.
Must be nice.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
It's pretty nice.
All right, so demonstrate on that slate call what you're trying to do to call a gobbler in. Let's say the gobbler is
this first thing in the morning.
Sure.
First thing in the morning, tree yelp.
I'll get it right up on that microphone.
There you go. Just 2 or 3 yelps.
Just soft.
Just soft. Probably softer than that actually. That come off a little bit louder. And occasionally like a little cluck.
Can you hear that, Paul?
No, it's clear as day.
Clear as day. Good deal.
Just soft.
And that's a cluck.
Just like anybody else, when they wake up, nobody's loud and stuff like that. Everybody kind of muted and kind of soft, stuff like that.
Right.
As the bird hits the ground, you just got to check their temperature. Is he fired up, ready to go? If he's gobbling at every sound you make,
or is he resistant?
Because a lot of times a turkey will hit the ground, even though they think there's a hen there, they got something they want to do, like go get a drink of water. They're going to go do it.
Okay.
You know? And like I said, that goes back to that pinpoint. They know you're up there. They might go get a drink of water and they'll circle back eventually. You just got to check their temperature. If they're fired up and feel like they're ready to come in,
right,
you get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit louder.
Let's get a little more aggressive. Get it right up. Yeah.
That's probably a few more than I would do actually in the woods, but some yelps and mix some cuts in there.
Now the yelps are the longer strokes.
The yelps are like
yelps are longer strokes, and then the clucks are the
short.
Yeah, and a misconception for some people that don't turkey hunt a lot or have never done it a lot,
right,
is gobblers will yelp too.
Mm-hmm.
And some people think they just gobble. They don't just gobble. They will yelp too, but it's a deeper, raspier yelp than a hen.
Okay, all right. Sounds real good, guys. That's magic. So that's awesome. So there you go. So the sound's coming good. Sound is going through the microphones good. Now that was, let's just say you get a hen, that boss hen fired up.
Oh, you're cutting at her.
You're just imitating everything she does.
You're trying to.
So whatever she does,
you do it.
So let's do this. All right, you got one.
Yeah.
Now you call. You're the boss hen. Now let's have a conversation.
Get loud, my
That's all right. Let's say let's give it 30 seconds if you two just going back and forth.
Now, see, if y'all are listening, you can hear the difference between that slate and the glass. That glass.
Ethan is using the glass.
Ethan is using the glass. He is rolling that pin on that yelp. They give that.
Having a two-tone, like a two.
Yeah.
Do that again. Do the roll.
You hear it? It's got
right there at the end. Okay. All right. So there you go.
And a lot of things when you're trying to get a hen fired up, you cut her off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If she's yelping and you jump in there and start yelping louder.
The more fired up that hen gets, the more you attack her, because if you get her coming, she's gonna bring the gobbler with her.
Listen, cat fight. That's what we're saying.
That's basically what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's two women back and forth.
They're fighting over a man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real.
They're ready to start pulling hair and slapping.
All right, so we got a cat fight going on right here.
And the hens are strut too.
Now hold on a second. I want to do this now. Listen, I want you to hit the slate. I want you to hit that. Now you pull that. Can you do that same stuff they're doing with that trumpet?
I can.
Can you try?
Yeah.
You want me to try it?
Yeah, Ethan does. He does a little better, man.
All
Like
right,
I said,
so
I've only been running a trumpet call for about 3.5.
We're gonna talk about the difference on these things here in a second, but
and this is a new one to me, so it may not be the best.
that's all right.
Not what I'm used
You
to
go,
running,
you go, and then Blake, you hit back, and y'all get talking, and you come in third. So I'll have 3 hens going at it right here.
Mhm.
All right, so let's go. Get it up to that microphone. There you go.
That thing is loud.
That thing is
I
loud.
love
It
that
sounds
one.
just like my wife barking at me. But here's what I noticed. All right, so
Hey, different sticks, different wood
Different
sticks
sounds, yeah.
will make different sounds on your calls. Also, different hardnesses, different softnesses. It gets technical.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All three of
there
these
was 3
sticks-
different tones going on right
Yeah.
there. I could tell the
And
difference.
all different calls and made of different wood will all make different pitches and different sounds.
And the aggressiveness by which Blake got really aggressive on his. I
Yeah.
could tell on that. But now when you blew, it sounded like so.
These
Yours
right-
was the highest pitched.
yes. These right here are going to sound more. They don't even sound like a turkey, honestly, to me. But
They've got a unique sound.
they piss turkeys off, and
Yeah.
they
It
love
sounded
it for some
more like
reason.
that was a little deeper than what Blake was doing. Yours was a little higher pitched and stuff like that.
Until you get really experienced on a trumpet, it's hard to get a loud high note out of it. I can do it sometimes better with the one that I'm used to running.
Right now, you blowing or you sucking in, or
You're
what are you
sucking
sucking in?
It's like a puck kiss. It's like a
Yes, you're actually sucking in. You're not blowing it.
Okay, so a trumpet turkey call,
Yes.
we're inhaling,
mhm.
Yes,
not exhaling.
yes.
mouth call. You're exhaling slate glass. You're just running your hand.
Yeah, pressure on the pot.
So which do you like to use?
I like to use glass for locating, like I said, being louder, stuff like that.
Right?
If I've got a turkey coming, I'm going to use a trumpet or a mouth call. And a lot of the reasons is like Blake said, because you can have this around your neck and you can have it right here with your gun,
Pushed up on your
Pushed up
shoulder and
on-
everything.
on this other hand already, and you just drop it. And same thing with the mouth call. You got a turkey coming, you've got your face mask up, all that, and you've already got your mouth call in.
And you can get
So you're ready to
real
go.
quiet on one of these.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You can get real quiet on a mouth
Do
call.
any of you guys use the gobble calls, the gobblers?
we did last year a little bit.
I've used it trying to intimidate a gobbler if it's one that you have found that you just can't kill.
Mhm.
He's stubborn.
Are you talking about the shake tubes? You know,
Yeah.
the shake
That's
tubes?
what I'm talking about. The
I've
old fashioned.
never
Oh.
had luck with those things.
I've never had good luck with them. I have made them gobble with them before, though.
Clifford said you really have to stand away from a trumpet to really appreciate
I
this.
feel like
do.
that's when it shines.
You
Really.
do. You have to. Honestly, you never realize how good a trumpet sounds until you're in the woods.
Yeah. I didn't.
I know that one. You did really good.
I didn't
That
know
I'm
what
really
one was
interested in those
until-
calls.
You don't
Who
really.
made that one?
This is a Billy Bice custom.
Oh, that's the old one, right?
He is actually local. He lives out about
Billy
Wauwusca,
Bice.
Georgia.
Right.
He lives where?
Wauwusca.
That's my neighbor. Billy.
Right.
Is Billy on here?
I don't know, but if not, we'll find
No,
him.
he's made them for years. This call right here was made in 1997.
Okay, never had to replace a reed or nothing in that.
Ain't
Just-
no
No,
reeds,
no
ain't no
reeds.
reeds.
It's a
See, I don't
mouthpiece.
understand that. So yeah, okay.
It's a mouthpiece. It actually goes into it. You can get different mouthpieces. Some guys
And as you suck in, it gives the tone.
like some guys like a little different, a more rounded mouthpiece. Some guys like a more flatter mouthpiece.
Like-
It's all personal preference.
Ethan has an actual wing bone call, and it's a wing. It's an actual turkey wing. So you're looking at these,
Where's
and
that at?
he didn't bring it.
Oh
It's
man, you stink.
I know. I left it.
on Ethan's wing bone. It is actually, instead of how these are circled, if I'm not mistaken, the bottom part of his is circled, but the top is flat.
It's
So you
Does
can
it run the same way though? The wing bone.
It's ran this.
it's ran the same
It's
way,
ran
but
the same
they
way, but
sound
it's-
totally
It
They
just
different.
has a
sound totally
different
different.
pitch
Yeah.
because it's an actual bone. It's not wood.
Is it
So-
pretty fragile or is it durable? The wing bone.
It's thick. It's
It's
pretty
dur-
thick, but
durable
you
as
put,
hell.
you
Epoxy
still
and stuff
build.
on.
Yeah, you still build onto it where
Yeah.
you can run straight bone with nothing on it.
And Kevin Dorsey, he makes this is a Kevin Dorsey call right here, and he makes actual wing bones plus his trumpets. And
I'm
I
a
mean,
big fan of supporting local guys
Yep.
when it comes to
Same.
custom.
Amen.
You can ask anybody on a turkey forum. Billy Bice is in the top. I'm not
Okay.
going to say he is the top. That's a personal opinion when it comes to custom calls.
Right.
But I would say he is in the top 5, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
like
Blake, can you,
Clifford. Yeah, good trumpets are hard to find, and that's the truth.
And that's the same thing with this glass call. It's a Georgia call. This is Alonzo's custom call out of Brownwood, Georgia.
okay.
And this one's made out of Dalton, Georgia.
All right. So we definitely need to.
Who's that one right there? Who'd you say that one was?
I want to
I
get
can't
some of
read
these
it.
to
I
the
can't
store.
read
I
his
want to
name.
start carrying
I
some.
got
of
his
them.
card at my house, but
And these, you don't have to buy them straight from them. I actually bought this one, I think, from Max Prairie Wings.
Okay. right.
Actually carried them.
Are males? Let's see, Jeremiah. Where was it at? Right there. Yeah. Are the males not as aggressive as the females?
when they're
are?
fired up, you will feel them in your chest.
The males.
Yeah.
Goblin.
Yes.
So, but what is easier to get fired up, the female or the male?
Depends on the mood.
Yeah.
It depends on the time of year and their staging, as someone said. It depends. Sometimes if the gobbler's already got hens around him, he won't be aggressive because he doesn't have to
You
be.
can barely get him to gobble, but if he's lonely in the mornings, needs a
So
little
like 10, 11 o'clock.
needs a little love.
Love.
You hit
what
him
he
with
said.
you hit him with a couple yelps, boys. He's strutting right down gun barrel.
What about this? Give us a mouth call gobble. Can you do that?
It don't sound the best, but
Well, it sounds
I've
good
never
enough
been
for
able to do
Cody to
that.
say. Cody, evidently, Cody knows you can do it. So
Yeah, it can be done. I
It's
personally don't do it because I'm not good at it.
it needs to be done with a gobble tube. But I have had birds gobble to it. They're probably stupid, young, dumb 2-year-olds.
Yeah,
You ain't
That's ones
getting.
I like. Just go,
Yeah, I like
come
them
on
dumb,
in,
stupid
baby.
ones.
give it a
But
shot.
basically
Just
that-
give it a shot.
You're not even really putting the whole call in your mouth. I'm holding on to the side of it, and I'm just going to run my tongue over the reeds.
Oh, I could see that where it would.
It tickles my lips so bad
Yeah.
I can't stand
I
it.
mean, it's
can't
hard to
it.
do.
I can
It's
see that
hard.
too. Where you get, especially if you got a higher pitched call,
Yeah, it don't sound right.
but still, but the rhythm that you were doing.
Some
Yeah.
people are really good at it.
Yeah,
But
some people can
it's
do
just
it crazy.
practice. It's like anything else.
And there's guys that run a mouth call, and they sound like a real turkey. I mean, you look at Dave Owens. He's won his 2 national championships on the mouth calls he makes, and it will sound like a turkey is standing 60 yards down the ridge. You
And
can't
there's
even
people
tell
that can
somebody
do it
on
naturally
call.
with their voice.
I run
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
Strutting calls out of Madison, Georgia. He makes some jam up calls, which is really cool that you guys
heard
are
of
putting
those.
them now. But I could tell Blake though. What you doing out there?
He's got a turkey in a bag over
You
there.
got turkey in the back. I could tell though that by the
Oh, look.
rhythm when you were trying to gobble,
Mhm.
that was
It's the
I mean,
rhythm of the turkey.
It's
That's
kind of
the
like a
thing.
fly down cackle too. I mean, that's one of the harder calls to make.
right. So if say somebody watches this in 3 weeks, they never turkey hunted before and they want to, and they're looking at all these calls, what's the easiest for somebody to get and go out and do that? You think the slate?
I would
If you're-
say the slate for a beginner out of all these sitting here would definitely be the easiest. And I say that
one, you got to condition a glass call.
Slate, you can run a
What is
Scotch pad.
conditioning?
conditioning, like basically you're going to take a little piece of sandpaper,
Right.
and you're going to scratch it. That's what the scratch part is. You actually have to scratch it up.
And we're talking about the glass.
Yeah,
so that you get your peg to catch friction.
Yeah.
That's why they're called friction calls.
You're taking your sandpaper, and some people, they just slide it back and forth. I've stopped doing that. I'm one motion. I go one way over and over.
Either way, you want to go the same direction every time.
And then
you don't want to cross it.
And then I take this little pad right here, and it'll kind of just scrape the excess off. That way it's not getting real dusty and everything. Yeah. But if this gets wet or anything, you're done. You got to sit there and recondition it. If it's raining, you get spit on it or anything like that, you're called.
And
it'll slip on it.
Okay.
That's
So
also why we carry so many different calls, because also in the South, you have to deal with humidity.
Yes.
I've had it to where it's a morning after rain and the humidity's so bad that it will fog up your glass or your slate call to the point to where it won't run. They do make what they call waterproof pot calls now that they didn't used to make very good. Now there's companies out there that make them. They'll drop them in a bucket of water, pull it out,
Pull them out and run them.
They'll have strikers with carbon tips. I'll run a carbon tip on my aluminum call too.
Mm-hmm.
Explain what an aluminum call is. I didn't know what an aluminum call was until I went to the call maker show this year.
Aluminum call is basically just like an aluminum can. It's the same material.
Yeah,
it's the same material, but you got to work it with like a sandstone, something like that, a little bit more coarse.
Okay.
To work out your sweet spot on your call. And it's like the glass. It's real high pitched. Okay. You can take that aluminum call. Like if you're close to have on this call here, you hold that up right there.
Which one?
This right here. These calls, all pot calls have sweet spots. I think. You guys agree with that? They'll have spots where it sounds best in certain spots. So you got to find that spot. And a lot of times you get closer to this edge here.
Louder.
A little bit louder.
Yeah, get loud, baby. Oh, hold the call.
Hold
I didn't
the
know
call
Paul's over there doing. Yeah, there.
Oh
you go.
yeah, I forgot I was on TV.
Yes, look right there.
See that right there?
There you go.
See, a lot of these calls here will have sweet spots. Like they're right there. That probably, I'm sure Blake's found the spot where it sounds the best. So right there, but you can slide a little bit more in and get a deeper sound out of it, right? Yep. So it's all these calls are similar like that.
And it's a lot about how you hold your stick. I mean, the angle of your stick, you can get more of a roll.
Do you stuff your strikers?
Sometimes I do.
Scotch pad, try to get the residue off of them.
And if you've got one like this one, for instance, I got last year. When they're new, some of them are so smooth and rounded at the end that you have to take a little bit of sandpaper and scuff the end and then run a Scotch.
Got to do some maintenance and stuff.
Yeah, a lot. As slate calls too, they'll get a lot of moisture in them. You can take a lighter and hold near, not too close because you'll crack it, but you can hold near the lighter near the slate.
Just kind of pull the moisture out.
Pull the moisture out. That's something you got to watch for.
Okay.
There's a lot of maintenance for a lot of this stuff that you got to take care of, get the right sound out of it.
Like I said, every morning I go to pull this out, and a lot of time I got a newer vest, but my old vest, if I put this up, I would have to re-scratch it just to be able to get it to run. Ethan has seen me. I put it in my pocket. We go 100 yards, pull it back out. Oh, let me take a little sandpaper to it real quick.
Right.
But this newer one, it's got some better pockets in it, so I'm not having to condition it as much. But something like this, with a slate call, you're not really having to condition it at all. You're just pulling it out and running it.
You still have to condition it, just not as often.
Like that little green Scotch pad he had, and
you just
run it back.
Run it over it a little bit.
You're not taking sandpaper with it.
Yeah.
You're not taking sandpaper.
No,
all right. So here's the question: what is the best trophy each of them have gotten? And I'm gonna let you start right here and explain. How do you determine? And I know a trophy is an eye of the beholder, but in general, how do we determine what a trophy gobbler is and what is your best?
To me, turkeys and deer are a lot different when it comes to trophies. Deer, people look at trophies off sheer size of the antlers, and that's it. And the matureness of the buck. Turkeys, it is harder, just like deer, to kill an older bird. But with turkeys, you don't necessarily always get longer beards with older mature turkeys.
And explain to everybody what a beard is.
Okay, so they have a beard that grows out of their chest.
Kind of like a type of feather that's just stringy.
So when they're jakes, they
hey, listen, I'm doing the best. Like, what are you laughing at? It's his damn stringy ass beard.
It's kind of a feather, but it's literally like Ethan's damn raggedy ass
beard.
Well,
it's hard and coarse.
Shit, I'm trying.
It's hard and coarse.
Yeah.
So
that's what she said.
They start as jakes, just like a deer starts as a spike.
Right.
Real
or a
short.
button head. It starts real short where it just barely stick out like an inch or two.
Yeah.
And then they go to the stage of in between a jake and a gobbler that we call super jakes. They'll get about 4 or 5 inches.
Right.
And then you get what they consider a mature gobbler is 6+ inches.
And that is the length of
That's
this
the length of the beard.
stringy hair there, Blake, coming out of the chest.
A beard.
Yes.
The beard.
And then,
but their beard comes out of their chest.
But here's the thing: you can kill a 2-year-old that's got a 10-inch beard.
Yep.
And then turn around and kill a 4-year-old that's got a 10.5-inch beard. It's only a 1/2-inch difference.
And a lot of the older birds, they start getting beard rot.
Yeah, it
Beard rot,
actually it's the spurs.
The spurs
The
is what
spurs
the
on
trophy
the
is.
back of their legs is what determines the age 9 times out of 10.
But some people go off a trophy gobbler as how big the beard is. Some go off of spurs. I'm a beard guy. I like the big fat paintbrushes. And when I say paintbrushes,
that's funny. You just said Michael Temples. This is a paintbrush.
Yep.
Same
I've
thing you
killed-
said. Yeah.
I've killed one good paintbrush that I could actually call paintbrush, and he was like 9.5, almost 10.
It wasn't that long, but he was wide.
But he was, when I say a paintbrush, his beard was as wide as my hand.
Oh wow.
I'm
It was
talking
4 fingers.
And Ethan was good.
legit,
Just one
legit 4
beard?
fingers.
Yeah,
Not multiple?
I've never
Have you
killed
got-
multiple
Me
beard.
neither.
No.
I've never killed a
Me
multiple
neither.
beard.
Now Ethan has, and I do not know why. I'm gonna kill him one day. Him and his daddy killed a banded turkey last year, and they didn't mount it
Did you
What's a banded turkey?
like a
Like
banded duck.
Got the
Got the band around his leg.
its ankle?
Oh,
around
okay.
his
So
ankle?
the state did. Okay,
It was
I got
actually banded by Georgia DNR, by the state. They released them just like ducks. It's so that when you report that number, when you kill it, they can see how long it lives
Gotcha.
from
Okay.
when they released
Tell
it.
him how many was released that year.
There was 10 released that year is what I was told.
And so you killed one of 10.
He
Turkey.
killed the golden egg, is what he
And
did.
you
You
didn't
got
mount
the
it?
gold ticket.
No.
Why?
His
dad
daddy, his
shot it.
daddy's killed so many.
Dad shot it.
Oh,
and
so it's- okay.
he kept it.
Yeah,
No, we
he's got
have
the,
it.
he's got the spurs
feet,
and the beard. and
the
all that.
feet with the spurs on it and the bands
But
on
if
it.
I'd have been me,
But
I'd
he
spent-
didn't full body mount.
Yeah,
it or
I would've
nothing
spent
like
How
that.
old was the
$500.
bird? Did you
It was actually only a 2-year-old. They had just released it that year before.
That's still
Okay.
pretty neat though.
It is
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Yeah.
Now, what about you? What is your best?
The second turkey I ever killed, it was 27.5, had 11-inch beard and 1.5 spurs.
Good bird.
And 1.5 spurs.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. That's a big spur.
That's good.
What let's see, you have to add the hunt. Yeah, actually too, Michael Temples, I'm gonna get to that real quick. You actually have to add the type of hunt, how hard it was to kill that
Yeah.
bird.
Oh,
That's
yes.
very true.
Into the
Experience.
trophy.
That's
of
what I'm
that.
saying. Turkeys is looked at a lot different as a trophy versus a deer.
The story itself can be the trophy.
Lots of stories behind. Yeah, people name the turkeys. Oh, what's
Right.
his beard? And they
I
they
mean,
hunt for
me-
2 or
me-
3 years.
I can't say the name of that bird we got.
I mean, when it comes to turkeys, you know, I've
Good
got
thing. I
I've got
you.
what I consider my best bird, what
The
I
physical-
consider
the
physical
physical
best
part,
bird, and then
right?
I have my what I call most emotional or funnest
Mhm.
hunt,
Yeah,
most
that's-
exciting
We've
hunt.
had a lot of fun hunts in our years.
Mhm.
Like I said, Ethan is the one who
I'm
really
gonna get there.
sat
Right
me
there,
down
Paul,
and
right there. Yeah.
talked to me about how to really talk to him.
Let's start right here with Sid, since we're getting late on in the night. What type of shotgun do you guys use, and what size pellets?
Want me to go get mine out of the truck? You
I
got it
currently
too?
right now I'm running a Stoker.
12 gauge.
Yeah, 12 gauge. The turkey I killed last year was a 20 gauge though.
Okay.
But the one I went with that Stoker, probably I think 5-shot Hornady is what I'm running out of it now.
Okay.
TSS or
No.
okay.
No, he's not horny. Doesn't have TSS.
I am. I'm
Yeah,
running
we got you, buddy.
Frankie Infinity 12 gauge, and I shoot the XR Longbeard number 6s.
And then we shoot. I say we as in me and my dad and brother. We as a whole, we shoot a variety. We shoot I have a Winchester 1300 that I shoot, and I shoot that simply not because it's the best gun, but I shoot a laminate stock NWTF engraved edition
You talk about a gorgeous gun. boys.
that my great grandpa actually bought for me the day I was born and put it in the safe.
No kidding.
It's
Son
an
of a gun.
It's an
Ain't that
emotional
something?
thing. That's why
it's
I
it's
hunt
a
with it.
gorgeous gun.
That's
He's no
awesome.
longer with us, and that's why I carry that gun. I choose to carry that gun. Now, if it's raining, I may not carry that gun.
Right.
I may carry I have a Frankie Infinity like Blake does, 12 gauge. I'll carry it because it's all synthetic. You know, I ain't got to worry about the wood getting messed up or the barrel fading on the blue. And
right.
so, you know, and then
Tell them about your daddy's old turkey.
But that what look, right there, that's an awesome thing to do.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
So like and I didn't do that with my kids, but maybe with my grandkids.
Yeah, that's a
like
good idea.
I will buy something and put it in the safe and say when they're 18 they can have it,
Yep.
or when I die they can have it, or something like that. That's awesome.
He gave it to me when I was old enough to shoot a 12 gauge. I was
And you know what?
like
You can do that with
15,
anything.
14,
22s,
15 years
anything.
old.
Well, you can do it with a fishing rod, a high end, or just anything
Yeah.
like that. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
and it gives you.
And
Which
see, that's like
Josh loves those stories when you
Yeah.
go out in the woods and all. So everything's an emotion. When
Yep.
you're pointing that gun, that's
And-
an attachment to your great grandfather
Mhm.
back in the day that's no longer
Yeah.
with us. That
Yep.
you did you even know him?
Yes, I knew him.
You knew him for a little while.
Yeah,
okay,
so
so that's still good. Yeah.
actually longer than most people know their great grandparents. He didn't pass away till a few years ago.
and say
Oh, look at Patricia. Franchi Infinity. Pop that back up there. Catalyst actually made for a woman. Amazing gun.
And
There
that's
you go.
Frankie's.
Listen, that woman can do everything.
Frankies
Yeah.
are some nice
Wait,
Is
guns.
it Frankies? I said
Love 'em.
Franchi.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's the
Frankie.
same thing. It's just how you pronounce
You
it.
can
but-
tell I'm an angler, not a turkey.
Crappie,
And you guys
crappie.
got a lot of money in these guns. You can't just go get
Yeah,
old Winchester.
and actually-
850
a lot of guys have started hunting with the Frankie 20 gauges because they're lighter.
shooting TSS.
I want-
Shooting TSS shells out of them.
I wonder how many people though from here on out, because this is gonna be on YouTube forever now, will hear me say Franchi and go Frankie.
There's a lot.
and then another one you can't
Absolutely.
beat is the regular old Remington 870.
Mhm.
So many people around here, that's what they use. My dad has one. My brother has a 20 gauge 870. I have one. Like that's
They're great guns.
They're-
You put the right choke on them, keep them clean, they'll
Let-
shoot.
That's
it.
Yeah.
the same way with Mossbergs.
Mhm.
I got a Mossberg 535, and I'm putting it in the gun safe for my kid. That's what I've
My
killed most
first
of my
one was an
turkeys with.
835, and it was a killer.
All right, so
Yep.
let's real quick. Let's because we're getting late. Talk about the chokes in a gun.
What
What are we trying to do with that for those that might come across this and don't understand?
That's a lot to talk about in that because some chokes are shoot.
People's
Shells
got
and
all damn
chokes.
sciencey
shells
about
and
it.
chokes is it's a big deal nowadays.
Can you
'cause they
not
make
just
so
shoot
many
a
different
small,
ones.
just a smooth bore and let them rip?
No,
Just
No.
Well, there you go. So there's something. That needs
that's
to be
like
said.
people saying, I can kill a turkey with birdshot. Bullshit.
You know, I'm not saying you can't.
Not
you can
saying
do
you
it.
can't, but if
but-
you do, you are looked or you're frowned upon.
frowned upon. Okay.
But chokes. I mean, that's different chokes shoot different on different guns. So
Yeah,
just
it's a
same way
pattern.
with shells. I mean, it's a long process.
So we're
Shell-
patterning it.
Yeah, shells pattern different with different chokes.
You're trying to dense the shells up.
Yeah, you'll get some guns that you'll get a gun that'll shoot a choke great, and then you can take that same choke made by the same company and put it in another gun that won't shoot good at all, and you'll have to find a choke that gun likes.
And sometimes the stock choke is the best choke for it.
The
It's
stock.
it's just mixing and match until you find that right
I mean,
combination.
that's what I'm shooting now. My Frankie. I just got stock choking in.
Choke and pattern means more than type of gun or type of ammo. So I guess you just find out what you can, what your gun shoots. That kind of
yeah,
stuff.
you
I mean, you
just-
take a Frankie Infinity, you stick the right choke in it with some TSS. You can reach out there and roll one.
What when you say reach out there, what are we looking at now? What's your comfort zone?
50 plus is a
50
reach.
plus, really?
Yeah,
I
try
have
to stay with
I have a farther distance than most people, and I say this because I'm not saying I would shoot one this far, but I've patterned my gun this far.
So you know that you're capable.
I could shoot one with my gun, which my Winchester 1300 NWTF engraved one is only a 3-inch gun. It's not a 3.5-inch Magnum. With a 3-inch TSS shell or an Apex shell, I shoot both. I actually like the Apex better. I would comfortably shoot a turkey at 70 yards with a 3-inch shell.
Wow.
with a scope or open sight.
No, open sights.
This guy right here, he's
Okay, so but he's not your typical. Then.
But
So
he's
above average.
he's not throwing a pie plate. He's throwing a
It
softball.
stays that tight.
Let me-
Yes.
That far
Okay,
out.
so
Throwing a
this
softball.
example, also, I was talking about having the 870s and all that. My dad's 12 gauge 3.5 Magnum, so you're shooting a 3.5-inch TSS
And this was my longest shot on turkey with this gun.
with a Jeb's choke. I really like the newer Jeb's chokes when we're talking about new choke tubes. With TSS out of that gun, I would shoot one at 80 yards with open sights. And I have a pattern from 40 yards, I believe, on my phone.
When you're lining that shot up, are you putting a bead right dead on its head, or
you're
you going?
putting it dead on the middle,
Like middle neck.
that middle of the neck
No
head.
kidding! Wow.
Yeah,
I have a picture on
hit
my
a little low, you
phone.
hitting it
I
right
think
there,
it has the pellet count on it. 40 yards out of that gun in a okay, so you know, like a little styrofoam plate's like 8-9 inches around.
Right. Yeah.
I think I measured it at 8.5 was the exact. I actually drew it. I don't know if you can see it on there, but
Let me
there's
see
there's a
this.
green circle.
Yep.
225 pellets at 40 yards inside an 8-inch circle.
That's cutting one's head off.
That's at 40 yards. That's not at 20 yards. That's at
Yeah,
40
you hold it to the
yards.
camera,
I don't know. I don't know if they'd be able to see it, but basically,
There you
you
go.
might be able to see it. But I can tell you, there's a bunch of dots inside. that circle.
225
What's
pellets
average,
at
would
40
you
yards.
say? Like for a good,
I
how
mean,
many
an
dudes?
average good gun, you would be lucky to put probably close 150 to 200
Yeah.
pellets. But I mean, that's getting the exact choke that gun likes, the exact shells with the exact shot number. You know, they make them in 5, 6 shots. So that's getting the exact everything that gun likes specific to get that many in there.
That's a process. That's a lot of
It
chokes,
is.
a lot of shells.
It's a process, and you don't always find that up front. I mean, that's
Gotcha.
going through a lot of different stuff.
Do you
Gotcha.
remember the yardage on that turkey that me and you shot that morning? This thing flogged the hell out of me. And and people that don't know what flog means, this bird was out there flopping in a food plot, and
you were excited, and instead of standing on its head,
I went
most
out
people
there.
do, he just went and grabbed it and picked it up.
Yeah, I got it, that bird cut me.
Did
2
it
pieces.
nail you?
Oh, he wasn't dead
Oh,
yet.
those spurs will cut
Yeah,
you.
Absolutely,
It was
yeah.
out of excitement, but
It was
that
like
was before.
60 yards.
That was before we were shooting TSS. That was just regular old Winchester Supreme shells. He killed one at 55 with that gun.
That's
and
the
I mean,
longest.
TSS.
What?
is TSS? Explain the
TSS. TSS is a newer shell that came out a couple years ago, made by Federal originally. Now Browning makes one as well, and I think someone else. But
There's a lot of people hand loading their own TSS.
yeah,
now also.
it's not regular lead shot. It's like a mixture. It's a
Like the 5
heavier.
or 6. Remember, was it Nitro or was it Remington doing that? They're shooting the hybrid loads. It's like 5 shot and 6 shot.
In TSS, you can buy them in 9 shot. You can buy them in different shot. The most common is 9 shot, or you can actually buy a mix where it's like 8s and 10s together.
We're talking about the size of the pellet in the shotgun
yeah,
shell.
but it's not regular lead. It's a harder. It's
Is it
tungsten.
Yeah.
It's just like with duck shells, how you've got your regular
Got
steel
your
shot, and then you have like
Copper
bismuth.
plate, yeah.
Yeah,
You have like
gotcha.
your
Okay.
heavier, harder
getting
shell.
into heavy steel and all that junk, and you're spending $20,
All right.
$30 a box.
All right, so we're about at the 2-hour mark as normal. How about just real quick? We'll start with you, Sid. Your ideas on the upcoming season. How much you gonna get to hunt? What are you looking to do?
For the upcoming season, man, I've got really one goal. I just want to get my son his first turkey.
Here you go.
Okay,
So that he's 10 now, he's about to be 11. We tried last year, came close a couple times last year. We just couldn't get it done. But this year, that's going to be my main goal to get him his first turkey.
private or public?
Hopefully private.
Okay,
Public. Last year I didn't take him on public because the amount of people's on it. It's just too many people.
understand.
So I didn't take him. So I've got a couple places I can go on private land that I'm going to try to take and get his first turkey.
Awesome.
So that's my goal. I came up short last year, but this year we're going to get it done.
awesome, and I appreciate you not tuning in, joining us tonight. That's
Yeah,
awesome
thank you
too.
for having me.
All right, so how about you, big guy?
I typically try to hunt twice a week,
Okay,
weather pending.
public, private.
Public.
Okay,
90% of the time I hunt public.
you hunt
Unless
public.
we're hitting
I don't
more
have a lot of private land to hunt. I've got 1 or 2 places I can hunt with buddies like Blake that's on private. The rest of it is public land.
Okay,
I typically try to go.
you try to kill 3 a year. You just you get.
I mean, I try to, but I've never actually tagged out in Georgia.
It's
Okay.
hard.
I
It's
usually
hard to
shoot
do.
1 or 2 if I have a good season a year, but that's because I'm normally hunting public land and I'm moving around a lot.
Okay,
And unless you have like multiple days off where you can hunt public land and stay on birds,
Right.
it's hard to kill
Absolutely.
your limit every year.
absolutely, yeah. It's not the easiest thing.
It's
in the
hard
world.
to kill a bird, period.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It's not. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world. What about you, Blake?
My goal this year is I've got 2. I really want to kill a public land bird. I've never done it.
Mhm.
I've been blessed. I've got some really nice private land areas, but like I said, I've lost 1 or 2 of them. So still got a few, but I really want to get on a public land bird this year. And my second goal is to get Jacob on a bird. Jacob's been hunting one.
And Jacob was on the show
Jacob
a
was on
couple
the show the other
episodes. Yeah, he sung with you guys that night.
Yeah, but he's
Has he ever killed one?
no, we've been going for 3 years, and I've been trying to put him on a bird, and it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
So,
So again, son,
Public land
helping
and
out
my
a
buddy.
buddy, and you were more experienced, so you're looking for those
That
trophy birds.
doesn't make it any easier.
Any easier?
I promise. I went a couple years where I didn't shoot a bird because I was just hunting public land.
Gotcha, but it's definitely public land. You're
Yeah.
on your own public land,
And
that
it's
sort of
hard.
stuff. Okay.
I mean, last year, me and Ethan started helping me dive into the public land. I mean, there was days that we put in 10 to 15 miles and didn't even hear a bird. Found
Right.
plenty of sign, but
And that's another thing. Just because I didn't shoot a bird those years, my buddies I may have been with them
Right.
while they killed
there's been several hunts that me and Ethan hunt together a ton. We've killed a lot of birds together. I might kill the bird this time. He may kill the bird
It's
this
just
time.
as thrilling to call
It
one in
is.
for somebody
It is.
else.
La-
as it is
last
killing
year I
yourself.
was with
I get
Dad.
more thrill now. I'd call one in for somebody else.
Oh yeah, like last year I was
Absolutely.
with Dad when he killed one, and I was calling with Blake when he killed one last
And
year.
we had a great hunt on one last year. We got ninja style on him last year.
Ninja
Down
style.
crawling.
We shedded the vest and we're belly crawling,
Yeah. We set up,
and we
4
actually had
different
to go
times.
2 different ways.
All right,
But I
so
shot him mid gobble when Ethan had hit
we'll
his
do
call.
this because old Brian, my buddy Brian Markison says, "Hey, we got a big storm. It is a stormy night in Georgia,
Yep.
coming this way right now." So he's
Jeremiah,
probably
bear hunting ain't no different, especially up here in the mountains. You're deer hunting when you're bear
home.
hunting. Really.
We'll do an episode on bear hunting one of these days.
Oh,
So
boy.
anyway, so first of all, thank you for coming
You're
tonight.
welcome.
Blake, as always,
Yeah.
thank you for all that you do, and Sid, thank you.
Thank you.
Doing this, guys. Hey, listen, that's our first ever hunting edition. A lot that these guys threw at you with turkey hunting, and we probably didn't even scratch the surface,
No,
and probably didn't even give the attention to detail
No.
that we should have. But we
There-
was just basically throwing it out there.
There's so many details that you can really dive into turkey hunting. Like I said, it's not like deer hunting where you're going and you're just setting up waiting. People turkey hunt different. You got your ground blind hunters that they'll set up on field edge and wait for the turkeys to come. You got guys like us. We hear a bird, we want to go after it.
Gun.
You're running, gunning,
We're running and
okay.
gunning. But when it comes to turkey hunting, guys, seriously, just get out and go and listen. If you can hear a bird gobbling on the limb and that sun is coming up, birds are chirping, and that bird starts gobbling, yeah, like I said, it's an emotional thing.
It is.
I
I agree.
it's something different. But I really appreciate all y'all tuning in. Like I said, I've been begging Danny to get on here and start the hunting episodes. If y'all like it, I hope y'all reach out, drop likes, share it with your friends, get in contact with me and Danny. If y'all want to see this keep going, because I'd really like to do this all turkey season and, go into pre-deer season, getting bows set up, muzzleloader, rifle setups, I want to see this grow. It's weird to me. I feel like it's kind of like a little brainchild. I just want to see it grow.
You did,
because I love it. I mean, I like to be outdoors. I like to do a little bit of everything, but I really appreciate the ones that stuck around all night and got to hang out with us.
Yeah, and definitely listen. Go to Hunt North Georgia
This Facebook
on
page.
Facebook. Yes, group page.
Yep.
We own that too. So we'll do that. And again, I do want to do this. I love talking fishing. I love talking hunting, and I even want to do stuff about conservation, anything outdoors that we can get involved in to get our butts outside and doing that. But again, I will say this, that one of the most exciting sounds in the woods that you can hear is an adult turkey, a gobbler just going to town. And especially if you got a gun and he's coming towards you, that heart will pound.
I'm going to give a little plug. Like I said, Dave Owens, he's from Ackworth. He's a 2-time Grand National Turkey Call champion. This guy spends all of his vacation time during turkey season hunting birds. And it's not only in Georgia. He has done Grand Slams. He probably does a Grand Slam every year. He is a National Grand Slam. That is where you kill turkeys in all 49 states because Alaska doesn't have birds.
Thanks, Patricia.
But Dave Owens has a great YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram page. It's called the Pinhoti Projects. If y'all really want to see some of the best turkey hunting on YouTube, give Dave a follow and just listen to how he talks turkeys. Like, I know all three of us said talking turkey. If you want to be a turkey hunter, you've got to learn how to talk turkey, and that is talking hens. And
Gotcha.
It takes hours and hours and hours of just hearing how birds communicate in the woods if you want to get really good at turkey hunting.
I think it's interesting, especially, and again, I've killed some turkeys, but I'm not one that, I'm very novice.
Right.
But I enjoy listening and learning. I try to absorb it. Cooters Outdoors, before I go, I want to give you a comment. on yours. Good luck this year. If y'all need a cameraman, let me know. Hey, listen.
I'd love to get with you.
Hey, listen,
I hunt
absolutely. Hit me up. Give me your contact information at Fish North Georgia, and I'll get you with Blake and stuff like that. My partner here is a professional cinematographer. Maybe we can coordinate and do some stuff like that. I think it would be interesting. I've got some land out in Wilkes County. I got to get Blake out there one of these days out there to get him out there and do some turkey hunting. Again, Patricia, I appreciate you saying you enjoyed the change up. Hey, that's great. But next Tuesday, we're going to get back into the fishing talk. But again, we will be doing these. This is going to start kind of morphing from this, and we'll just see where this great enterprise goes. But for those of you that tuned in to the first one, I appreciate you guys. Go tell everybody to subscribe to Fish North Georgia. Tell them about what we're trying to do here. Get them to join the group page and stuff like that. We're also on Instagram and Twitter at Fish North Georgia. On Twitter, it's Fish North GA. All right, and then we do the TikTok and all that stuff. And again, so Patricia, we will have you and Taylor. We'll get in touch with you guys to get you on Tuesday night somehow, and we'll get back talking to bass fishing. But again, for the first time talking turkeys, guys, very informative. I know we covered a lot. We covered it quick, but thank all of you. And again, everybody,
might have to do a mid-season recap and get all of us together and.
We can do that. We can do
stuff,
that. You're good with that. So, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you next Tuesday night. Y'all stay safe.
Take it easy, guys.
Tonight.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.